Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 26 of the Band of Bravos. I am your host and GM for this session. I'm Jason Bulmahn. I'm the director of game design at Paizo and the GM of this motley band of fools. But before we get started today, I'm going to toss it around the horn, as always, and let them introduce themselves and their characters. James, you're up first.
Well, hello there. I'm James Jacobs. I'm playing Shensen, the ghost-sounding bard, and this is going to be a faux spooky one because it's Friday the 13th, and I've got something special to show off later.
It is Friday the 13th, isn't it? Why don't you let Jason go first then, Jason?
Well, you know, we have an order around here.
But it's your day.
That is fair.
Hey guys, I'm Maryssa. I'm Paizo's web content manager, and I play Ilana Thistlefoot, your halfling druid.
Hi folks, I'm Jason Keeley, Starfinder developer. I'm playing Roark Thunderbird, Tengu Swashbuckler, and on Friday the 13th, we Jasons like to show up and sneak in where we're least expected.
That's right. Yeah.
Quietly
stalking.
I'm Peyton Smith. I am the social media producer here at Paizo. I'm currently playing Lord Barnes, who is currently fearing the Day of the Jasons. And
Day
also,
of the Jasons. It's like Day of the Trifid, but with
it's
more
a scary
hockey
day.
masks.
It's a scary, terrible day. And thank you all for coming back to the Band of Bravos. If you are new here, who like to watch us live on Twitch every Friday at 2 p.m. PST, over on the official Paizo Twitch channel. We like to do a system here. Basically, we like to have it to where chat can help us out with hero points. You will notice some of the coins that are on top of our head. And with those, we are allowed to use them in Pathfinder Second Edition to re-roll failed D20 rolls. Say, for example, if I rolled a 2 and I want to get a better result, I can re-roll it and get a 1. Now, on what you guys in chat can do to help us out, that you can use channel points to give us additional ones. And if you really don't like us at all and you feel like, man, you're getting a lot of hero points here, we're giving you stuff, this game's going to be easy because you're just giving them a bunch of points. The balancing factor is that our game master gets something called villain points. It's not like an official rule, and it's just something we did for the stream just to kind of balance this little, interactive mechanic out. And Mr. Bulmahn can you can always gift him some with the channel points on the Twitch page to have him destroy us in any means possible, but he likes to use them with great effect and great anger from all of us. Now, for those of you who are confused on how they do it, basically the channel points are below the Twitch chat, basically the bottom left of it. You click that and you accumulate those points by watching Paizo streams. So the longer you watch Paizo streams, the more points you get, and the more points you get, the more points you can do to help influence the game itself. And now I'm going to adjust them because it looks like we're full, but we're actually not. Mr. Jacobs, you currently have 2. Mr. Keeley, you currently have 2. I have 2. Maryssa currently has 3, and Mr. Bulmahn is full on villain points.
I'm gonna have to do some villainous stuff.
You have to try, Bulmahn. You have to try. But
Shouldn't be too hard.
But what villainous activities do you have for us today?
Well, I figured we'd all just kick back, watch a copyrighted movie, and see how many strikes we get. Wait, no, let's not do that.
No, that's music. That's music.
Let's play Pathfinder instead. All right. When we last left our intrepid band of adventurers, 4 brave heroes left the surface world behind to travel deep beneath the surface of Golarion, down to a place known as the Evervault. They were sent there on a quest by the good Goblin King Brightcrown to establish diplomatic relations with a group of orcs that had taken over a mine that the PCs themselves had cleared out just recently. In this process, they had removed a strange relic from deep within the mines, buried it up on the surface to remove its taint from those mines, and thereby opened up the mines for exploration. Before that point, undead kept animating in the mines and causing all sorts of chaos. Well, the moment they became open, the orcs moved in and took over. The king, not wanting to provoke an all-out war with the orcs, decided to send you down to negotiate with them. To that end, the Band of Bravos traveled deep beneath the surface of Golarion, down to Cobalt Town, there to meet with the emissary of the orcs in hopes of brokering a peace and possible trade negotiations. everything seemed to be going well. You arrived, there were challenges when you got there. The town itself wasn't open. It was in the middle of celebrating some final egg festival, and you had to sneak in as gladiators. And there's been a lot of trials and travails to get to this point. But eventually you did secure a meeting with Gargetha Clearsight, the ambassador of the orcs. And she told you a tale of the orcs in this cave, a parable that explained that the orcs, in their long years in this place, had suffered much after making deals with the other peoples of the cave that turned out to not benefit the orc people. And that if you wanted the orcs to trust you, it would be best if you were to give a sign of good faith. Show them that you could be trusted, that your people would hold to their word. To that end, she suggested that you solve a different problem that the orcs were having. The orcs, you see, are located on the shores of the Hungry Lake on the north side. And from there, they would like to be able to fish. The Hungry Lake is one of the few sources of animals that are free roaming in this cave and can be easily caught. But the orcs are incapable of fishing for them, and they are incapable for two reasons. The first being they have no boats. Their previous boats were very old, sprung leaks, and they haven't been able to replace them. You solved this by going down to the boggards, discovering their kind of dark secret, and finding a workaround solution. That you escorted a kobold back to Kobold Town, a kobold that was bent on revenge against the boggards. But this kobold was an alchemist who knew the secret of making mushwood and therefore making boats, which then could be sold to the orcs. The other problem was that cloakers from the northern reach of the cave have been preying upon the orcs, swooping down from on high and feasting upon the orcs when they make their way out on the water. This, of course, provides them quite the incentive not to go fishing. However, these cloakers do not seem to feast upon the drow, and there's no obvious reason as to why. However, you have since discovered that reason. Venturing into the drow territory, you made your way through the maze, treating with some odd, warped deep gnome named Muck. You then snuck around the drow cave, making your way past the Weeping Citadel, a towering fortress dedicated to the Oozing Eye, the drow demon that they worship, that this cult worships. And after sneaking around that, you managed to ambush some drow priests, get their key, and make your way into the cloaker caves. You had learned from the matron's daughter that the drow had something over on the cloakers. You weren't entirely sure what. However, when you ventured up into these caves, you quickly came to realize that the drow were feeding a nightmarishly large pit of bubbling, oozing flesh and eyes and mouths in the heart of the cloaker caves. It was this horrific thing that was feasting upon the cloakers, or at least was a threat to feast upon the cloakers. And by the drow feeding it, the cloakers were kept at bay. So the cloakers clearly have no choice but to play nice with the drow. Otherwise, the drow stop feeding the nightmarish flesh monster. The nightmarish flesh monster eats all the cloakers. And that is roughly where we left off, because you encountered this thing and then backed off. It ate a cloaker and started to try and eat you, but you fled, preventing it from coming after you. And that is where we left. So we'll pick up right there. I'm going to go ahead and move us to the map that you were on.
And I believe we retreated to go off and rest. And as we were resting, we decided, to get our stuff together, get everything nice and prepared, and then see how we can deal with this thing.
Indeed.
We should camp out in a 5-foot wide tunnel so that any wandering creatures that come by can't help but step on us, so that we'll know if they attack us. They won't
Sleep in shifts so we can keep an eye on each other.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So you back away from this cave, making your way away from its kind of babbling madness and its fleshy tendrils that come up to the earth and stone. It does not give chase. It seems to be, you hope, rooted in that spot, or maybe at least while it's fed, it's rooted in that spot. You're not sure. But it certainly seemed very aggressive when you got near to this kind of nexus of the cloaker caves. It's clear that most of the cloaker caves connect to this cave So having a nightmarish monster in the middle of it is quite a danger to the cloakers.
And we're also
What was that?
also
Jason-
pretty sure that the drow made it.
They had other creatures similar to this in their domain. You saw them making things out of warped flesh.
So it had some sort of weird, like, gurgle babble, gibbering aura thing that affected us. Can I make a cultism check to know if we are sort of, like, I guess, on a countdown timer for how long we are temporarily immune to its effects, if at all?
Sure. Give me an occult check.
That's a 19. Average.
Well, you have encountered one of these things before. You doubt that you are immune for very long. It is kind of a random cacophony, and undoubtedly by the time you return, you will no longer be immune. So that is, of course, a danger. You are, however, relatively sure that this thing is, in fact, a gibbering mouther, a kind of nightmarish amalgam of ruined and mutated flesh, given cruel, maddening sentience, with only kind of the purest desire to eat and eat and eat. However, this thing appears to be relatively well fed considering its size, so you suspect that the drow have been keeping it docile just by feeding it a lot.
The sound it
What they've been
makes.
feeding kobolds, right? Because we let that kobold free.
Yes, the drow down at the base were like dipping kobolds into this vat and stripping the flesh from them, putting it in buckets and preparing to bring it up here. So
we interrupted their soup kitchen.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Is the sound it makes an actual sound, or is it like a mental sound? Because I'm imagining sticking something in our ears right now.
It is auditory. You can clearly hear it. It's like
And that's what's causing us to go temporarily confused.
it is a lot of gibbering, as it were.
James, can you counteract that?
Yeah, I tried last time, but I
You
just
tried,
rolled
right?
off.
We just, yeah, that's what I thought. Sure. Cool. Well, I absolutely hate that thing.
And it certainly does not belong. The cloakers belong down here. This is their habitat, but that thing does not belong here.
So, we're gonna take it out, right? Oh, terrifying.
We'll have to be careful. But I don't see the need to harm the cloakers when it's that thing that's causing the problem.
Yeah,
As
you're
long as they
not.
stay away from us.
Yeah, I mean the cloakers did attack you in this area. You know, that was one of the first things you encountered when you passed through the drow doors was a pair of cloakers that swooped out of the darkness to attack you. And
Yeah,
even
but
once
also-
you made it up into this cave, a cloaker charged you, but it was eaten by the thing.
But all animals behave like that when they're scared and cornered.
Yeah, I mean they seem to have a malignant intelligence. So they didn't just attack like beasts. They kind of charged you and used tactics. So
That is true. Well, it could be that the drow are using this thing against them, and then once we take away the gibbering monster, then they won't have anything to bargain with the cloakers with, or threaten the cloakers with.
possibly.
I'm all for taking it out.
We push this rock down on it, maybe conk it on the head. And
I sit there looking at everyone going, fireball? Fireball? Take out my
That's a
book
good-
and point
yeah,
to the
yeah,
page that
that's a
says
good idea.
fireball with my crayon drawing of a fireball. Like, fireball? I got two.
Yes.
Fireball.
That's right, Lauren.
Fireball.
Fireball. Let's do it.
So fireball?
All right. Let's everyone just sort of, get our minds fresh and full of fireballs and go at it in the morning.
All right. Well, without too much trouble, you're able to kind of find a cave nearby and kind of hole up and get some rest. I believe we actually discussed this at the end of the previous session where the party had found a not great place, but a suitable place to kind of hold up and rest. However, you in this part of the caves, the cloakers do not bother you because it's clear that they are very careful in this part of the caves because, well, there's a monster that eats them. So you're able to get some rest. I mean, it's uneasy because you're far off in the distance. Every once in a while, you can kind of hear.
Well, that's
But,
not uncomfortable at all.
But, that's only echoing and in the far distance and in the quiet, dark hours of the night. But you can get some rest. Everybody's restored back to full hit points. You get your spells back.
Yay!
I don't feel like a 48 out of 48 again.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're fireballing, right?
Well,
Yes,
Yes.
no, and we're fireballing.
that's at least our opening tactic.
Okay, cool. So
I'm leaving you on this map so you can arrange how you plan to enter the room. But none of you should probably be further forward than where Lorne is right now.
Jason, also just to sort of ask you a question, a potion bottle, let's say, how far could one throw that? Does it like have a range increment the same as a grenade type?
It generally has the same range increment as a bomb.
Okay, yeah.
So I believe that's.
I've got this sleep fog potion that we've been saving up. I might try to use that as a bomb.
All right.
Roark, you might want to bring up a light, or somebody else might want to bring up a light.
Indeed, I'll have a light on me.
All right. We can certainly put a light aura on you.
And I'll be first in the room.
Alright, so I'm going to take your spot. Yeah, I'm going to move your token real quick. You're going to go there, and I'll go here, or however you want to go. And I'll be back here, so I could just lean around the corner and go whoosh. And be safe. Utterly,
Yes, I'm sure you will be very safe.
utterly safe. There's not going to be any problems. Like, no problem. Just no.
Just
No.
No, you didn't see nothing.
No. No. You're not
That
gonna
didn't-
use. No, I
didn't
ruler
appear
you.
like
You
anything.
can't ruler me. That's how this game works, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just. It's a
Be
weird
as-
mystery.
I'm gonna be as safe as possible with no jibbery jabberies.
Yes.
I
yes.
never go forward to victory unless you want me to do the first fireball and not kill you all.
Well, the way this works is the party begins marching right back up here. You've gotten yourselves ready. I will allow you all to decide what your approach tactic is, if you want to have weapons drawn or what your deal is.
For me, it's buckler up with torch in that hand and potion sleep fog vial in the other.
All right.
Staff
Shensen?
in one hand.
Go ahead.
Staff in one hand and preload my crossbow in the other.
Okay.
I'm sneaky mode, getting ready to throw loud noises down onto it.
Okay.
I'm kind of liking like a sniper position kind of deal. I got like the skull of Grisfeld's mouth like open and stuff. Like it's like the end of the barrel. I got the staff kind of like pointed up, and I'm like aiming it at the monster. And it's like, all right, we're gonna shoot a fireball out of you.
He's
We all
like,
turn
"Do
around
not-"
and you're in a ghillie suit.
Yep. I'm just covered. I have like mud streaks on my cheeks. Got like
Where'd you get
random
that
like
from?
leaves. And like, don't worry about it. And just get ready.
Grisfell appears kind of behind the group at the very end, and he's like, "You really think aiming with the staff is going to make it shoot better?"
It's yeah.
Yeah. They teach you that at wizard school that you didn't.
I cast
finish?
fireball in Grisfeld.
This is just one of those things you read about, right?
Just like Grisfeld.
If Grisfeld is the staff, when you cast fireball at Grisfeld, does it just like create a fireball at the head of the staff and just kind of implodes on itself?
He's like, I wouldn't do that.
I'll take you all with me.
Well, if you want to join me, that's fine. I'm just telling you, it's not as all it's cracked up to be.
No.
I know. That's why we're trying to get out of
No.
here. But your incessant nagging of my preferred methods to be accurate and being tactical. It's not helping me.
Yeah, right. Well, good luck. You're going to need it.
Thanks, Gridsfield.
All right. So the group comes marching up to this location, and as you arrive there, you are all immediately overcome by the sound of the gibbering. This happens the moment you draw within range, because it is constant. I'm going to need everyone to make me a will save.
I'm gonna try counter performance again.
Very good.
Hopefully this time I'll roll good. Yeah, that's a 29. Because it's
All right. No one needs to make a save. You're all immune. Okay.
yay.
Well, I do what I can.
Stab that bard.
Yeah. All right. As folks draw into this chamber, can I get everybody to roll me some initiative, please?
I mean, I can try. I'm probably going to fail at it. And
All right.
Lon got
27.
a 20.
Oh boy.
That's exciting.
Why did you make... Oh.
Uh-oh.
I see. The
What?
thingy's possibly going to go first. Can we
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can we spend all of your villain points for us to go first? Because it's villainous to
I
that
could
thing.
do that, but I'm not going to
Why
teach
not?
you a valuable lesson.
Like rolling bad? It's like,
Yes. Yeah.
Buyer-
Rolling bad is a valuable lesson.
It's like, hey, guess what? You let random chance decide your fate. Get punished.
Yes, indeed. Now, the nightmarish pile of bubbling flesh is going to go first, and it is going to spend 2 of its actions to begin it burbles and chants, and as it does so, the ground underneath it and around it suddenly begins to soften and turn to goo. And we're going to go ahead and let's just see. That. We'll go ahead and give it that.
What are you doing?
All right, there we are. The area around it is being filled with muck and goo. It has started to affect the area near you, but not so much so that it is a problem just yet. That is 2 of its actions. With its 3rd action, as Roark comes around the corner, it spits a gob of kind of nightmarish acidic spittle at you. Here it comes. I think an armor class of 19 is going to miss you, though, Roark.
Oh, that's right. I matrix out of the way. Yes.
All right, you dodge just as this gob of spittle slams into the stone next to you, bubbling and sizzling, scorching the rock wall next to you. That is the end of its turn. Ilana, you are up next.
All right. I believe I'm going to measure one more time just in case. All right. And I am not going to let it get any closer to... Oh, can I shoot a hydraulic push through Shensen and Roark, or do I got to step forward?
No, you can fire spells through your friends.
Marvelous. I'm going to give it a hydraulic push to make sure it stays back where it is. I don't want it coming any closer.
So your blast of water streaks out and hits the thing. That blast of water appears to kind of blow apart the gobs of flesh. Looks like it does some pretty good damage. However, it does not move at all. It is pretty rooted down there in that pit, and blasting it with water just causes it to it's kind of almost like, understand that it's more like a pool of flesh that is just down there undulating.
Oh, no. Don't like one bit. Okay.
With all these tiny little tendrils and mouths and eyes burbling up out of it. So it's more like a cauldron of flesh than a
Like what happened? Like what happens when you microwave a 3-pound bowl of chewed bubble gum?
Yeah.
This is
It's like
giving
that.
the druid the shivers. No, that's
It's
not
like
right.
rancid
That's
chili.
not normal.
that has gained foul, malevolent sentience. So, Ilana, that was 2 of your actions. What's your third action?
Should I move 5, 10, 15, 20, 20? That looks like that's going to put me within reach. I'm fairly sure right there is going to put me within reach, isn't it?
You don't know? Maybe?
Heck. Oh, heck. Nope.
There
I'm
is
staying where I
only
am.
one way to find out.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right.
Well,
All right.
she's dead, boys.
Yep, she explodes.
Who
Oh,
else?
kidding.
Who else do you want to play, Maryssa?
I can spend a villain point to make player characters just explode, right?
Yeah, you can.
I think you have to use all 3.
Oh, all right. Well, I have 3, so.
I always wanted to be a rogue. It's been a while since I've been murdery.
Roark, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm just gonna also take a step forward to stand next to Ilana, and I'm gonna toss this sleep fog vial at it and hope it breaks and open and forms a sleepy vial, sleepy cloud on it.
All right. You move to there and fling a vial. Do you have a ranged attack roll for that?
I do. It's not great. It's basically a 13 with the probably -2 from the range increment.
Yeah. Yeah, you rolled a 2 there, so that is a pretty terrible roll.
I'm gonna spend a hero point on that. Actually,
Hey,
why not?
hero up.
Let's try this. It's not gonna do anything because it's gonna make its fortitude save probably, but 27. That's much better.
No, that's significantly better. That's going to hit
25.
as opposed to miss. So you go flinging this vial of the sleep fog. Now, this is the kind of poisonous gas that the drow used to kidnap other drow.
Yes, this was the bottle that was labeled yeast.
Yes.
Way back in the bakery.
Yeah, back from Cobalt Town. So you go flinging this thing into the pit, and it shatters, releasing kind of a cloud of gas over there. I'm going to go ahead and roll a fortitude save for this thing.
It seems pretty good.
And
It
it
seems
is
pretty
going
good.
to get a 32.
Yeah, I think the DC was like 18.
Yeah, it was around 18 or 20. Yeah. So that is going to critically succeed. So the gas has no effect.
All right, fair enough. I'm gonna draw from my cloak a bottle of bottled lightning.
All right. So you draw that, and I believe that's going to be the end of your turn. You moved, you threw something, you drew something.
That's right.
All right. That is the end of Rourke's turn. Shensen.
Okay, so I've got a sound burst coming its direction. It's got a 30-foot range. So that goes to there, but then it's got a 10-foot burst, so I assume that it can still hit it if I drop it 30 feet away.
Yes.
All right. Honk. There it is. It's a fortitude save. Seeing how I rolled a 32, I'm sure that it's used up its good fortitude saves already.
So you unleash this kind of blast of noise at it, and it has no effect whatsoever.
Yay! I write that down. And then I cast Inspire Courage to give everybody some bard bonus.
All right. Yeah, you're not sure what happened, but the blast of sound washes over it, and it does not respond at all.
Oh, I hate critics.
Indeed. Lorne, we are back to you.
Fireball.
I am shocked.
Ooh, fireball. I'm firing it like past everyone. It's in the blast radius kind of deal. It
yeah.
can go anywhere in the room, basically.
Yeah, no, you can pretty much, you can actually drop it right on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's out of range. So you go, a tiny pea of flame leaves the skull, goes streaking across the chamber, slams directly into this thing, and blossoms into a blast of flame. Let's go ahead and roll my reflex save.
Of course, you naturally crit with the 20.
So that was a nat 20.
Yeah.
So
Sure looks like it.
yeah, that's it's not going to take any damage.
And
Because
we're
of
off
the
to a
crit
good start.
success. So,
This thing's immune to area effects, as far as I can tell.
so that's that
Well,
happened.
I guess I just cast shield then.
You do that, and Grisfeld is like, "Told you the staff didn't help."
Shut up, Gritzfeld. Apparently,
I mean,
this thing
next
has a
time maybe you
reflex
could listen.
seize, like a reflex save of not moving. It just
I don't know. Did you
blub-
aim right? I mean, you're sure
No,
you didn't
no,
aim too
just-
high, or
Nope. Nope, it hit it. It just somehow has the acrobatic reflex ability to dodge fire at a 20-foot radius right on top
like-
of it.
Grisfeld's like, which is more likely, that the pool of flesh dodged a encompassing ball of flame, or that you aimed poorly?
I grabbed the piece of paper that magically shows the roll 20 thing. You see this thing called a reflex save? This thing critted it. How
It's like,
does
ow.
it do that?
Sure. All right, so it goes. The very first thing it's going to do is it is going to spend 2 of its actions and continue the ever-growing aura of mush around it. That is growing larger and larger. The area, the ground underneath it is turning into soft mud. And as it does so, it's going to spend its final action to spit at Ilana, because Ilana hit it last.
Uh-oh.
Nice meeting you, Ilana.
Armor class 19.
Does not hit.
Wow.
I'm too short. It went right over my head.
I rolled very poorly. So I'm going to spend a villain point.
Whoa. Excuse me?
Yeah, I rolled very poorly. That was a 3. So
No,
I'm
he
gonna
just
go ahead
needs a
and spend
4 to hit
villain
you,
point.
so it's,
All right.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
Here we
fine.
go.
It's fine.
well, you rolled natural 1. How's it feel, nerd?
Well, that went great. Today's
Karma
my day.
sucks,
I'm supposed to
doesn't
do
it?
well.
Vaughn, you're not the only one with poor aim.
The curse. The curse. The curse.
All right, fine. Ilana, you go next.
Well, that wasn't very nice at all. I can't push it back, and it's doing something to the ground.
I'm glad we had an entire round of combat where nothing happened.
Yeah, no, that was a whole lot.
Alana did
we
some
just don't-
damage.
A little
Ilana's
bit.
about to do some more damage
Yeah.
with the flaming spear directly on top of it.
Oh, I
Alright,
wouldn't do
so
that.
you were
It's
conjuring
dynamite
up
at
a-
reflex saves.
Right
You were
there.
conjuring up a flaming sphere.
Yes.
If you crit it again, I'm going to scream at you.
Just
Be very
also-
upset at you, Mr. Bowman.
Please don't beat to
Let
21.
me go ahead and make a reflex save here.
Please don't beat to 21. Why do I say things?
I mean,
It's immune to fire, Lauren. That's the only answer.
So the ball of fire is moving across it, and it's kind of bouncing it around like a beach ball at a rock concert.
that's just rude.
Oh, he likes it.
But it doesn't appear to be hurting it. So for the moment, that's where that's going to be. Ilana, you do still have 1 action remaining.
Oh, I'm gonna sidle over just a little bit more, just so we can slowly start circling around it.
All right.
10, 15 here. Ooh, maybe here. Wait. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Nope, that's as far as I can go. All right.
Roark, we are over to you.
I'm running out of things to chuck at it. I don't want to get any closer. I'm just gonna chuck this bottled electricity
All right.
at it and hope for the best. Hey!
there you go.
Hey,
That
critical
kind of
hit.
looks pretty. That looks pretty close to the best.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 36 with bard bonus.
No, I bar bonus in there.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, same with the damage.
So that is certainly going to hit, which means it is going to be flat-footed until your next turn. So the critical damage in there is, let's see, that's 10, so it's doubled to 20.
That's right.
Ah,
and it's flat-footed until the start of my next turn, and all that good stuff.
So you go lobbing
yeah.
this bottle into the middle of it, and it shatters, and you can see electricity dance across this thing, and its tendrils and pseudopods suddenly kind of freak out as the electricity jolts all of its flesh like a shock to its incredibly chaotic nervous system. You do still have the rest of your turn.
Yeah. I didn't like that. I'm gonna draw my sword and raise my buckler.
All right. You have drawn your sword and raised your buckler. Shensen.
All right. On with the Inspire Courage Lingering Composition double whammy. My perform check to pull that off is a 30. So,
That is certainly going to be I think that's a critical success, yes.
oh boy, critical success. That gives us 4 rounds of barb music. And then I'm second action getting out my longbow and unwrapping that obnoxious plastic that you get when you buy something fresh from the store. And then I'm going to shoot it. Actually, I didn't buy this. I took it from Drider. Anyway.
Pew! Sure.
That's a 29.
A 29 is a solid hit. That is with a arrow, so that's piercing damage. All right. Yeah, it's going to take 5 points of damage from that.
Hooray. Arrows work. Shoot arrows, Lauren.
Okay, I'll do that.
Speaking of which, it is now
Fireball.
Lauren's turn. Lauren, is that another fireball?
Yeah, it's another fireball. What else you think?
So I should roll another reflex save, is what
Yeah,
you're saying?
and credit, so I can just waste my time.
So you're beginning the incantation again, and Grisfeld's like, okay, here we go again.
See that 20. Let's see that 20 you're going to roll. Oh, look, it's a 31.
Well, it's not a 20. I am going to take half damage.
Okay, you'll take half damage. It'll kind of work, but the damage was garbage, so you took like 8.
Yeah, the blast of flame washes over the thing, and although it is smoking from the flames, it does not look incredibly hurt by that blast. As the smoke clears, you can still see it down there, undulating in the gloom. You have one action.
Just little blubs. And cast shield again. And I wait.
All right. Very good. All right. This nightmarish thing goes. It is going to continue to focus here. It's going to spend 2 more actions to extend the radius of the molten, muddy ground. That now encompasses Ilana and Roark. Everything around you is now considered difficult terrain.
Oh, great.
And now that you're in that, it's going to take its last action to strike out at Roark with a pseudopod. This comes oozing up out of the ground like its flesh is now infesting the ground underneath you, and it is going to attempt to, like, this tendril comes writhing up out and suddenly forms teeth and a mouth, and it attempts to bite you.
Ooh,
Armor class of 33.
thank goodness I raised my buckler, so that's not a critical.
Very close. Take 20 points of damage from the bite.
Ouch!
And it causes you to bleed. We're going to go ahead and give you...
Oh, broken heart. Poor
Where
Tengu.
do broken...
All right,
What?
you've
Careful.
got a red too. That'll work.
Okay.
The bleed is actually a D6. Change it to that. All right. That's what we got. That is the end of its turn. Ilana.
All right, I don't want to use a spell, but I'm not gonna use a spell. I'm going to cast Reach first, so I can lengthen the spell and Fungal Infestation.
So, to be clear, you're not going to be concentrating on the flaming sphere?
Well, obviously it wants to make friends with the Flaming Sphere, so no, I'm not. I'm going to try a different tactic.
All right. So you unleash a blast of noxious spores that go washing over this thing. And I'm going to go ahead and make a fortitude save for it.
This thing is skin and
Aw.
So
That's all right.
That's a 30 for audio people.
rolling a 30, the spores wash over it, but it doesn't appear. None of it appears to take root, or rather, it almost looks like as the fungus takes root, like little mouths open up to eat the fungus, and it just absorbs it.
okay. And then that was just a regular success, not a critical success, right?
Correct.
You take half persistent poison damage.
Okay.
So
It's going to take a little. It's got what, a D6?
D6.
Go ahead.
That's something.
Give it a little a symbol here. Let's go with this one. It's got a D6. All right.
Radiation.
All right. So it has that fungal infection. All right. And that was the end of Ilana's turn because that's all three of your actions. Roark, we are over to you.
Okay. I just got to get up next to it. These steps down too, are they going to make things harder to go forward?
They're easier to get down than they are to get up.
Fair enough. I'm going to head into it. So that's 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet. That'll get me one move. Oh.
So this thing
Yeah.
takes up the entire bottom of this pit. So one square closer and you are adjacent to it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just a round token, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna step up and I'm going to strike at it from here. That's my
You are
third
right
action.
next to the bubbling, oozing pit of flesh.
Take this. Yeah. 32.
Armor class of 32 is a hit. Let's see, that it was flat-footed until the start of your next turn, right?
That's correct.
All right, so it's no longer flat-footed. All right.
Yeah.
So that is just a hit. That is going to do 8 points of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's going to be the end of your turn.
Yep. Remember me.
Shensen, we are back to you.
All right, my bard song ticks down around, and I start pew pew pewing arrows down onto it.
All right.
So there's the first one. That's just a 17.
17 is not going to do it, despite the fact that it is just a giant pool of flesh. It still is avoiding some attacks.
All right, well, I'll take a second shot. That's seems pretty good.
That is a critical hit. The first one, the flesh kind of dodges away and your arrow hits rock underneath. But the second one lands right in one of its squelching wet eyes, bursting and letting forth a stream of putrescence. That is going to do 27 points of damage.
Yeah.
As the thing squeals and kind of reels in pain.
Ooh, arrows work good. I'm going to try a third one.
All right.
Nah.
Some arrows work better than others.
Yeah.
That one comes flying at it, and one of the tendrils just grabs it out of the air and tosses it away.
Ooh. Very cagey.
Lorne.
Just to jump in here, I took my bleed damage and then rolled a nat 20 to stop the bleeding.
Oh, that was you. All right. Yep.
Yeah, that was
I
me.
see that. Okay. Very good.
All right, I'm going to do reach spell and then telekinetic projectile. I'm going to double make sure I'm in range just to make sure I'm not cheating or something.
Use
There
the
you go.
arrow I just critted it with. That arrow is
I
dynamite.
used a crit arrow for good luck, and I got a 24.
You go flinging an arrow at it, and that does indeed hit for 11 points of damage.
Points of damage.
Ah, yes, 12.
Yeah.
The arrow goes slamming into it, and more of its kind of pus and liquid flesh comes oozing out. But it is still up and fighting.
That's my turn.
Was that all of your actions, or did you?
I had to
not
do a
use-
reach spell to the buff thing on it, so instead of 30, it's 60 for telekinetic projectile, so it could actually reach it from all the way back here.
All right, so that is going to be the end of your actions. Next up, it goes. The first thing it's going to do is swipe out at Roark with its jaws. Here it comes.
Oh,
It's a
look at
very
that.
bad roll.
It's a miss.
I am going to spend a villain point, and
No,
I'm gonna
don't do this.
No.
That sounds mean.
It is. It is a little mean.
It's torture.
It's what I do. It's what
It's not malevolent. It's benevolent.
That's right. Here it comes.
Well, the good news, Jason, is you did that right in front of the player character who's the most ready to make fun of your monster for quitting.
Oh, you're right. I almost forgot.
Oh no.
That is terrible.
But did
Because that's a natural one. That is a critical failure.
Oh yeah, that is.
That is a critical failure. You
It's
will
only
be
a
taking
19.
an opportune riposte.
Yeah, it's only a 19, so...
A 19
probably
is not going
gonna
to hit, though.
Okay, fair enough.
You want a hero point that, Keeley?
No, I only have the one, and I'm right in its face. So.
No, you
you
have
need that
two
one.
currently. Someone did give you one.
Oh, would I
so
get
you
somebody
have
give me a
two
new
right
one? Well,
Yeah,
why
spend
not
it.
then?
Do it. Do it.
Let's do it.
Do it. Do it.
Great.
Yeah.
now. 32.
32 for 12 piercing.
Does that do it? Is that a crit?
That's going to hit.
Can you make it a crit so we feel like we have a win today?
Nope, because it's
Aw.
one short. All right.
I'm not dead yet. I haven't been critical yet. I feel like that's a win so far.
So you slash out it with the short sword as it fumbles around trying to attack you, dealing another 12 points of damage. This thing looks pretty badly hurt now. It is going to attempt a second bite at you because, why not? Armor class 30
Okay, that's gonna hit me.
for 21 points of damage.
Yeah.
After slashing out at it just like a flurry of tendrils come your way, each of which sprout jaws and take tiny bites of you, leaving you with dozens of small wounds. And you get a d6 bleeding again. With its third action, it is going to spit at Maryssa. Don't like my odds, but here we go. Well, I like my odds better when I roll a 19. That is an armor class 25.
That hits.
It spits out at you, and that is going to hit you for 19 points of acid damage.
Oof. All right.
And as you are hit with its spittle that splashes all over you, burning you, I need you to make a fortitude save to see how it affects your vision as it does splash all over you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right into
25.
Two-Face.
A 25 is a success. You are unaffected. All right.
So burns.
Well.
And it burns
Well,
my feet.
I turned that round around.
You did
after
turn that around a little bit,
disastrous
yeah.
start.
That's
Well,
okay.
It's still got the fungus.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget your fungus.
Ah, yes. Allow me to take a d6 fungus damage. Here it is. 5. And let me roll a check to see if it comes to an end. It does not. It is still being affected by the spores. All right. That is the end of its turn. Ilana, you are up next.
All right. I am going to produce some flame from back here. I don't think an 18 hits, does it?
No.
I'm going to use a hero point for a 26.
A 26 is going to hit you. Throw flame down in the pit at it, scorching it for 11 points of damage. It will take that.
And then I'm going to use my last action because I saw that it worked for Shensen, so I'm going to shoot it with my crossbow that I had prepared.
Indeed.
Did not work. Okay.
14 is nowhere near. The crossbow bolt goes wide, hitting the wall on the opposite side of the room.
I'm just going to say, Roark, get back here.
Roark, it is your turn.
Easier said than done.
I can throw a
Took me
heal down
forever to
on
get
you,
up
a
here.
soothe on you, Rourke, if you want to stay up there and stab it some more.
I'm gonna stab it.
All right.
It needs a stabbing. I need to finish
does.
this thing off before I bleed to death.
It's got so many eyeballs, and you've got a beak. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't wanna. I've already put up the gross things. 26 for
A
11
26
piercing.
is a solid hit for 11 points of damage.
I'm gonna do a second one. This is
The
unprecedented.
flesh is starting to look like it is covered in bloody wounds, and the pit is starting to almost look like a blood pit at this point.
Ugh. Have a 24.
A 24 is going to hit as well. Another slice goes into the pit. More flesh, more bubbles of quivering flesh in there suddenly stop moving. This thing is looking in very bad shape, but it is
All right.
still alive.
I will raise my buckler and not stop the bleeding. So I'll take that bleeding.
All right. Well, you're going to take a d6.
You rolled that. I took the 4 that you rolled with the attack.
Oh, all right. That's fine.
If you're fine with that, you're fine. Yeah, I'll take the higher one. Sure.
Yeah, sure. All right. That is the end of Roark's turn. Shensen.
Roark is just perfectly in range. I'm going to give him some soothing. You're all right, Roark. Keep stabbing it. You'll be fine because you just got a lovely amount of healing. 30 points.
Very nice. Thank you.
30 points of healing. Many of Roark's wounds close. The bleeding ends as well.
I'm sorry, the random dog that just gets cut off.
Sorry.
It's like, here you go, Roark. Sorry.
And then with my
Sorry.
third action, I'm going to shoot it once again with my bow.
All right.
Ew! I'm going to hero point that roll
That is a very bad roll.
because I got hero points to roll.
A 2 for a total of
25.
15. A 25, however, is going to hit. Another arrow goes streaking down into the pit. More blood and viscera erupt out of it. It is still somehow still moving, but it looks mostly dead. The pit looks like it's filled with clots of dead and dying flesh.
It's all you, Lorne. Finish it
Lorne.
off.
Telekinetic projectile. 26. 16 damage. Using reach spell
Grisfell is
and
like,
this.
I mean, I guess if you think that's going to do it, and you pick up a chunk of stone, flinging it down into the pit. It slams into the body of flesh that is down at the bottom, which suddenly just erupts. It's like it pops, and the entire chamber is splattered with flesh and gore as this thing bursts like an overfed tick. It just shatters and blasts the entire room in gross flesh and acid.
This is
I
if
need-
David Cronenberg directed the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Right.
Oh, I'd watch that.
I need everyone to make a reflex save except for Lorne.
Oh, an 18.
30. For Roark.
That's only a 22.
All right. Well, Shensen and Roark, you're going to take half damage.
Oh no, what am I going to do?
Oh, grit your teeth. That's how you dodge those things.
Ilana, you're taking full.
Ooh. Oh. Okay.
Ilana takes 32 points of damage. Shensen and Roark take 16 each from the blast of acid and flesh that just comes erupting out of this thing.
Yeah.
It leaves you burnt and smoking and in incredible pain.
I am going to lift my staff and slam it on the ground and do a 3-action heal for everybody in response.
Should we get a
Yay.
little closer first? Probably.
Ooh.
I don't know if
Yes.
you got the range.
There we go. Here,
Anyway,
get
but that's
between
fine.
everybody.
Thank you.
There we go.
Hooray!
24.
As the
and-
wave of positive energy washes over all of you and hits Grisfell, even Grisfell's like, yeah, gross. But you do manage to heal folks up a little bit, leaving you standing in the middle of this kind of ruined chamber now. This place is a nightmarish mess.
I don't know if the dog makes a good point or not, but I feel like
think
if the extra
Cloakers-
heal should have done more. Did it, or am I wrong?
No, I think it.
So,
oh
yeah,
well.
you're kind of left standing here staring at each other. This thing appears to be dead. There doesn't appear to be anything. I mean, the bottom of that pit is filled with slime and goo and blood and
I'm going to get close and I'm going
gore.
to inspect it. It's horrifying, but also kind of fascinating.
So all around it are the bones of cloakers. All of these piles are just piles of cloaker bones. Despite having skulls that look like humans. They're actually cloaker bones. And the pit itself is, because it just burst, it's still kind of sloshing. up either side. But it's clearly just mostly like blood and viscera down in there. Whatever this thing was, it's no more.
I don't have a flesh to stone spell. That would have been really useful.
That would have made a mess. And as it goes away, by the way, the ground around you slowly begins to solidify again. This is only a little tricky when it solidifies around your boots and you have to kind of pull them loose, but it's not too tough.
Jason, from your description, I'm pretty sure that my 1 prestidigitation probably wasn't enough, so...
Yeah. Yeah, especially considering the front of you is just kind of blasted and the back of you is clean.
Yeah. That's not gonna... That can't stand. Must fix.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of prestidigitation to get all that off. And it's not made helpful by the fact that the room itself is now just kind of dripping.
Oh, every time I move, I prestidigitation step, prestidigitation step, prestidigitation step.
I'm going to cross the room. Oh, it's a little dark over here. Roark or Lauren, would you mind moving this way? Just to see what is over here.
That giant diamond over there.
There are some large crystals in this chamber, just kind of emerging from the floor and walls. Give me a perception check.
Very disgusting in here.
23.
23, a 20, a 19.
Oh, you want from everybody. Sorry. And perceive. I got a 17.
All right. Well, it's fitting because Ilana is the closest. You notice that underneath the nearby crystal right over here, there is what appears to be a body. It looks like it might be a drow, actually, like one of the feeders or keepers that got a little too close and got eaten. The body itself is horribly warped and distended. Its flesh warped and mutated and, frankly, rather rotten. It's been here for quite some time. However, it is still, wearing a rather nice belt and has a belt pouch and a rapier at its side.
Those are all
Boots.
way too big for me.
You want to
Shensen. Or
Hi.
I mean, if it's rapier to the
Yeah, do you want-
Roark.
I can't actually detect magic, but they look nice.
I can do that.
well,
Yeah, you're getting a sense of magic aura about all three things. Or rather, you can suss that out relatively quickly. I'm not going to sit here and make you figure it out. These things obviously survived, whereas everything else about this drow's gear has been ruined by acid and rot, whereas these things have actually survived.
We assume.
Shensen, are you putting a sigil on something?
I'm putting a few on the ground around here just to mark my territory.
Oh, I see.
I assume we're thinking the items are magical.
gemstone.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I quickly come
Yeah.
up and I have a feat basically called quick identification.
Sure.
So I basically just like, yeah, just hand it here. I'll take a look at it, and I basically just
it's
quickly
magical and
glancing
it's
at
shiny.
it. Yeah, I can just quickly identify in like 10 minutes or something. I think.
Sure.
I remember how it goes. So it's like, oh yeah, in like 10 minutes, I know what this is. Or actually, master, yada yada.
Well, he's doing that 10 minutes. I am going to the closest person is Shensen. Do you need any healing?
I'm at 46/53. So,
Roark, summon assurance, 2d8, so he's identifying magical things.
Thank you.
So, you're able to kind of heal up some folks. That's not too tricky.
Because we still have to find the cloakers at some point and let them know that the gibbering mouther is no longer a problem for now.
Nah,
I think they'll
no.
figure it out.
Yeah,
I think we just leave here.
We're not talking to them. No, that's not
I
happening.
don't know if they're going to be friendly.
I'd rather them know that we came in here, killed it, and then they'll respect that and then they'll just leave us alone at that point. See, he agrees.
So, you as you're identifying these things, you quickly come to realize that the rapier is a +1 striking rapier.
Nice.
The belt is a belt of health. It gives you some hit points after you, it increases your total number of hit points. Just a handful. I can look it up. It depends on who you are, but
Here you go, Roark.
Yeah, Roark, you use hit points more than the rest of us.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'll take anything.
Plus, birds wearing belts are awesome. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, let's see some
not
pictures,
belts.
internet.
Hashtag bird belt.
The belt pouch is actually a bag of holding.
Is it filled
What?
with like watermelons and like chocolates and like coffee candies and donuts
Shampoo and scented candles and books of ultimate power.
It's
Incense
not filled
and-
with any of those things.
rods of wonder and
What you do find in there, though, is a very hefty number of gold and silver coins, and two small vials, which will require additional identification.
Well, if
well,
if we're brave enough, we'll see if it's vodka or not.
yeah, that's that's how I test potions, is just drinking. But sometimes
Just take a
they're
sip.
poison.
Give it a smell. Give it a sip.
We'll see.
Always a good idea.
Okay.
So-
I assume. Yeah. We
Well,
can,
if we're not
Yeah.
going to go treat with the cloakers, now I'm more concerned about us getting out of these caves.
That
We
was
can't
going to
exactly
be
go
my
back
next
the way we
question.
came from. I'm gonna. These are supposed to be near the waterfall, so I'm gonna go up to a cave entrance, give it a sniff, a little survival, see if I can smell fresh running water.
All right. So you go investigating these caves, and in fact, it seems like most of them probably lead out to the open air. You smell fresh air. You smell kind of that smell of falling water, kind of the water mist and vapor. You're getting kind of cool, moist breezes from every single one of these tunnels. However, this one right here is the strongest.
All right, then it is. If everybody's ready to leave this cave, that is the way
Yes.
we will go.
So you begin making your way over to this cave, and further down in the cave, you see a cloaker. And it's kind of hanging about the ceiling, and it's staring at you from that perch. And it sees kind of the ruined chamber beyond you, and as it sees you approach, it kind of slithers off up some chimney to God only knows where.
I give
as
it a
it slithers-
wave.
As it slithers off, I'm gonna call it's weird and creepy looking, so I'm gonna assume that it speaks Aklo. I'm gonna call out an Aklo and say, "Hey, friend, please do not leave us. We would like to discuss things." And of course, it's an Aklo, so it comes out.
You don't hear much of anything. It kind of disappears from sight, but you do hear an echo kind of come down the chimney that says, in Aklo, that says, "Leave this place. It is ours." But of course, it comes out as,
Yeah. That's less fun to say than Mac.
yeah, no, it is. It's not quite as entertaining.
I will reply to it. We just killed your filthy flesh puddle thing, your gibbering mouther monster. So we're helping. We'd like to talk to you about organizing some sort of new alliance because we're more friendly than drows.
You do not get a response. You call
Okay,
that up
bye.
there and wait a bit, and you don't get a response.
Please don't attack the orcs. Okay, bye. I wanted to be friends, but I guess not.
So you make your way down this tunnel, and you travel probably about 15 minutes or so, winding through this kind of this cavern passageway, and you find what appears to be like cloaker nests is the best thing you can describe them as. They're like chambers with tall, smooth stalactites in them, and kind of odd piles of droppings on the floor below, mixed with bones of like what are probably orc. But you know, here and there you think you might stumble upon a drow bone. And these kind of dot this area. You run into a couple of them as you make your way down this tunnel. However, after about 15 minutes, you arrive on a ledge that looks out over the water.
Ooh, how? Oh, we're very high up.
You can just barely make out the deep water down below, and the kind of cliff face that you are on. These ledges look just kind of like launching points for the cloakers to go soaring out over the lake. They're like the wall is not entirely sheer, and it is clear that there are, I wouldn't call them trails, but there are like faults in the cavern wall that you could try and navigate your way down, but it does look like they head kind of straight down to the water.
I've taken a high dive plenty of times before. This should be fun. That's all. Join hands and jump, everybody.
Oh, finally. Let's go, Roark. I grab Roark's hand.
I'm tempted to go grab a cloaker and just hang glide down there. That sounds like it'd be fun.
If I couldn't be friends.
Do we want to go down there, or I mean, I think we were pretty focused on Operation Kill the Gibbering Mouther, but now I feel adrift and confused.
Okay.
Well, I think we're on the same side of the lake as where the orcs are. Maybe we can.
Well, we should probably go talk to Gargetha at some point and tell her what we found in the Cloaker Caves.
Mm-hmm. And we need to get at least down to Cobalt. If we get past the lake to go to Cobalt Town, and I don't know if I want to go through that maze in the Drow area again.
Okay.
I could levitate us down, but there's nothing down there to land on.
Once we're down there, it's not the problem. It's we're up here.
But there's like
so one
fish
thing I want to
monsters.
be clear about is the map is representational. It's not meant to be 100% accurate. You know, there are a handful of cloaker caves drawn on the map here. There are actually dozens, and they do stretch closer to the Drow territory, to be honest. You can see a fair number of them, like in the wall back up over here. So it might just be a matter of finding a cave that's closer. There are not as many over near the orc side, actually.
Mm-hmm. From this vantage point, I don't know if there's enough light to see the lake, but can we see our giant turtle friend by any chance?
No.
Yeah.
First of all, it's very dark.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to make out anything other than kind of the dark, endless deep that is before you. And like you can just barely make out the glimmer of Cobalt Town off in the distance. And you're pretty sure you can see some activity up here in the orc area, but it's really hard to make out what it is. There's some smoke.
Huh.
So there's no trails to get down. We'd have to go back in and work our way out and go back in.
Or jump into the water and swim.
Swimming's fine, but it's a long way down.
If you were to venture back down into the caves, I mean, assuming that they all kind of lead to this area, you're pretty sure you could find one that is closer to the surface of the water, or even to the Drow area.
But when you say closer to the Drow, like some way we wouldn't have to go back through the caves, and we could just maybe swim across.
So it depends on whether or not you're willing to do some swimming, because it doesn't look like there's like a beach down there. So you could conceivably jump into the water and make your way over to the shore down here.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Well, how fast can I... Well, no, he wouldn't be able to do that. Oh, no, I was thinking of, it was like, I can get there more than likely with the Griffin, but...
I just have to get down. But also, what that?
I wouldn't worry about it. It's probably just a random island to represent thing.
That's the creepy glowing tower island.
Yeah, super far away. But
Yeah, I mean, like, understand that the distance from the Cloaker Caves to the Drow area is probably, like a mile.
Oof.
Okay, that's tough to swim. But some of us can turn into animals that have swim speeds.
Yes. That animal just needs to get down into the water. How well I'll survive the splash? Well, we'll figure that out.
So what's the plan?
Let's go back in and find a cave that's closer to the surface of the water.
Yep.
Climb, dive down in, or levitate, or hippogriff down into the surface of the water, and then use fashion a. Can we find some bones and whatnot, cloaker bones and whatnot? We'll fashion a crude raft that Ilana can pull us behind.
That's too creepy.
Well, you don't want to show up at the shores of the Orc village on a bone raft being pulled by a shark? That's not the Shensen I know.
Fair cop. Yeah, that sounds rad.
So, you begin, you head back in and start trying to look for a route that leads you closer to the surface. Can you give me a survival check?
Yes, I can. Ooh, no, I can't. I'm still shaking from heights.
So, a 16, you begin kind of casting about, looking through these tunnels, and you end up kind of scaring off some cloakers. The cloakers seem oddly afraid of you, at least for the time being.
Sorry.
Like, whenever you encounter any, they tend to back away from you. You're not sure why. I mean, other than the fact that you killed the giant flesh monster in the middle of their
That was killing them, and therefore we are the bigger predator.
And after a bit of searching, you do stumble upon a cliff, but instead of getting close to the orcs, you've gotten closer to the drow. You're over here now.
We could we want to make our way to Cobalt Town, right?
I would assume so.
Do we go halfway, take a little break on the spooky, mysterious island out in the distance, and then swim the rest of the way?
Oh, swimming all the way out there? I mean, that's like a mile and a half.
You wanted a shark.
But if we can get to the beach, we can walk back, or this area where we entered the maze.
More than likely, if this was a place where the drow would continue to go to maintain that area, more than likely, further down we go, they might have a boat or a dock or something that they use to get to and fro. So if we could find something like that, that'd probably be one of the better things to look for once we get further down.
Give me a perception check.
I perceive with an 18.
I have a 25.
Shensen notices that Shensen has feet. So, Ilana, you notice that down here closer to the water, it does look like there's a very old dock. It doesn't look like there's a boat at it, but it does look like there are old, maybe crates or barrels on it. It looks like it's in a terrible state of disrepair.
Are we traveling over water by barrel?
You'd have to find a way down to it. It would require spending more time searching through caves.
It's either that or we jump.
Down we
I don't
go.
really want. I don't.
Down we go.
You saw me jump off that mushroom, Ilana, and I was fine.
How far down is it from here?
From where you're at right now, you're probably about 100 feet off the water.
Nope.
That's fine.
No.
You have to think of the aftermath of that, and considering the fact there were monsters in the water, I don't feel like jumping off into the water and figuring that out after. It's not a good idea.
I turn around.
Yeah, let's go down. Go to the dock.
17. I turn around and I keep looking. Still too high.
So you're still kind of casting about in these caves, and you have now spent the better part of a day just wandering around these caves since the fight against the flesh pit.
Better than jumping.
And you find another cloaker cave, and this one's like about here. You're still about 100 feet above the water, but you are now nearly directly above the old crumbling dock down at the water's edge. That apparently leads to a cave.
That sounds like a good place to ride a hippogriff down to.
I mean, one, we can probably rest, because we were spending a good while. Get everyone rest up, get all our stuff back, and then we can just keep going down. I mean, we seem to be making progress to it. These caves connect somehow. Don't need to be wasting a bunch of things when we can possibly just walk there.
Sure. So, I mean, is that the plan, or what are you doing?
That's what I propose. That's what the dog also proposes.
The dog
Vote
says
the dog
yes.
for me.
Sure, sounds good.
I'm not going to go against the dog boat. Let's go.
It's fair. All right, so you find a place to rest, and you camp down, and you're now kind of further away from the cloaker caves. It doesn't look like the cloakers inhabit these caves that are lower to the water very much. You're not entirely sure why that is, but it doesn't appear that there are any nesting in this area. And you find kind of a cave to just set up and hole up for the night. And in the middle of the night, in the middle of... Lauren, do you not take watches again?
I don't do that. I'm a wizard.
Oh, all right. So...
Who went to an esteemed college?
In the middle of Roark, in the middle of your watch, there is kind of an odd sensation. At first, you're not sure if you were just kind of falling asleep and leaning to one side, but then suddenly you're bolt awake. You were on watch, but it almost feels like the earth shook.
All right. Well, I better hurry once we wake up. Did it feel like close by, or that faint?
No, it was
tremors
really
again?
small. There was just a bit of a tremor. It caused some dust and a few rocks to fall from the ceiling, but nothing more than like pebbles. And after, not more than 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it was over.
Okay. Oh, that'll keep me up. That'll at least help me stay up the rest of the watch.
All right. Well, the rest of the watch passes uneventfully, and the party is up and about the next day. You're all restored back to full health, and can continue your explorations. Can I get another survival check?
All right.
So,
Okay, 31. Ooh, natural 20. 31.
Natural 20. So, with a calm, level head and a good night's sleep, Ilana manages to navigate you down to the old ruined boat dock. You're not sure who created this dock. It's clearly not been used in like a decade at least. Much of the dock has fallen into the water. There are a handful of barrels that have been kind of, the tops of them have been broken open and their contents pillaged long ago. One of them is just kind of shattered along one side with only like half of it still remaining with the bottom in there. And the other one is mostly intact. But that's all there is. That and all the kind of ancient mushwood from the dock.
Roark, I have an idea, and I volunteer you for this because I feel that your family heritage and your possible upbringing might help us out with this.
What do you need?
I figure we could turn these barrels into a temporary flotation device. I understand. I assume this is still mushwood, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and definitely it's not going to do well in the water, no matter what.
Mushwood floats. It's
not great.
There was apparently a special type of mushwood that made good boats, but that doesn't mean other mushwood might not work. It probably just doesn't work for very long.
So with your knowledge, in my uncle, like, I've never been really much of a sea person. My uncle was mostly, head of the Navy or whatever at that point, but that was long gone. Do you know how to make a rowboat? And I think there might be enough barrels here that if we crack them down and use what materials and rope that we have, we can make a reasonable raft of some sort out of all the barrels.
Yeah, I mean, if only Quokka was here.
I don't need you to bring PTSD. Right? I don't need you to bring back memories.
I wasn't never really make the boats or crafted a raft, but I can give it a try.
So if you have the craft skill, you can try and put something together.
I can
don't have
assist. I can
proficient
help
in it.
you.
Yeah, I don't have anything trained, so someone's got something trained.
Yeah, I'm not trained in it.
I am trained in crafting.
Well, you're
Right.
going to need to be trained to make anything remotely
enough.
similar to a boat.
22 to look at the barrels and look at the rope we have and anything else we have and try
22
to.
to boat.
22 to boat.
With a 22, you can kind of figure out a way to lash the two bits of barrel together, lash together some of the boards, and make a kind of a crude raft.
Far enough to get us to that beach. See?
That
Yeah.
looks like
And
something
no jumping.
good.
I'm gonna eyeball that raft and appraise it as a potential sea monster bait.
Luckily, hopefully, I will be the
you know.
only sea monster.
It might be tasty.
And I'm going to kind of turn into the shark and shimmy my way into like a weird rope harness thing. And like, let's go.
All right,
Chomp chomp.
this wasn't the bone raft I was promised, but it's close enough.
All right. Well, you cobble together a kind of very crude raft. Ilana turns into a shark, biting into a rope harness, and begins swimming with all of her might, giving you some momentum and making your way towards the nearby beach. The journey is slow. The water here is pretty still. You're not being carried by really much in the way of waves. It's only by that initial inertia and then some paddling with like chunks of mushwood that you're able to make good progress. And after, about an hour or so, you manage, and by this time Ilana has had to turn back into a person, I think.
I am exhausted.
You manage to get this raft to shore, but by the time you do, it is coming apart. Like the lashing has become soaked. The mushwood, when it got soaked in water, some of it started absorbing water and expanding, causing the ropes to snap. However, you do manage to make it to the beach safely. However, you are now very close to the drow territory.
I'm going to crawl up on the beach and just kind of flop and lay there in the sand. Kind of soaking wet, kind of exhausted.
Step off the raft, completely dry and pristine. Going, thanks, Ilana. Adjust shirt and just start walking.
No one made
help
it out
Ilana.
of that dry.
No.
Not just you can't just say you're dry.
Nah, I press the hesitation, whatever. I help Ilana.
The whole time.
Yeah, just boom, boom. I help Ilana up and and everything else. Like, come on, Ilana. Thank you so much for pulling the weight there. Literally.
Still better than jumping.
All right. Well, you can
would've
gather
been fun.
yourselves up and begin making the journey.
So
All right,
we're just
folks,
walking along these beach.
Yep.
back to
All
Cobalt
right.
Town.
You begin quickly making your way past the drow territory as quickly as your tired legs will carry you, not willing to stop or tarry here because you know that the drow certainly control this area. And just as you think you are safe, you are making your way up this beach. Up ahead, you see a lone figure waiting for you on the shore. It is clear, even from this distance, that it is a drow, and she has two green glowing mastiffs on a leash. And as she sees you making your way this way, she lets them loose. And at that, we're going to take a little break, everybody. So we're going to take a very short little 5-10 minute break, allow the cast to get themselves something to drink and get themselves freshened up to be ready for the second half of this exciting session. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back. In the first part of today's episode, the PCs, our band of bravos, have dealt with a nightmarish flesh ooze and have now attempting to escape and make their way back to Cobalt Town. After sailing across a small section of the Hungry Lake on a makeshift raft, the party has beached on the shores of the drow area of the cave and are trying to beat a hasty retreat. However, the way is blocked. The drow have apparently been put on alert from your shenanigans and have sent one of their agents to block your path. As you made your way down the beach up ahead, you noted a tall, slender figure standing in the middle of the beach, almost as if waiting for you. This figure has two chains held in its hand. At the end of these chains are these hounds. However, they are not like any other hound you have ever seen. Their bodies are emaciated, and there are rifts in their flesh from which there is leaking green, unearthly flame.
Oh.
We are going to go ahead and move you right on over to this map here.
Should the flaming puppers also emit light?
They do emit a bit of light. I can actually, let's see about that.
Those puppers aren't friend material, are they?
No,
Okay.
not look
Are
at
they,
them.
Jason? Are those hot dogs?
Get out.
They do look pretty warm, yeah.
Are they on fire? Wait,
they look like they're like coursing with green flame.
okay.
Go ahead and do that. So you see these folks, and as you draw even remotely near, the drow unleashes these hounds, dropping the chains, and they begin to immediately howl and bay and charge forward. And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and bring this up and ask everybody to roll.
I got a crit. My initiative.
We see that.
Well, that's pretty good.
Oh no.
That works out. If I can
Oh,
slaughter
no.
them
I
fast.
got to 28, but it didn't show up.
You didn't click your token.
I didn't click my token.
That's okay. You click your token, then you can manually change the thing yourself. Yeah, you can manually change it yourself. So go ahead and click your token, roll again, then put in the first number you got.
Ooh, I want the second number though.
You can't have the second number.
No.
You're getting a 28. All right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and organize these. Lorne, you are going to be seizing the initiative. These two furious hounds have been unleashed. They look like they're about to charge in your direction. As you can see, well, as you can maybe see, you are not too far away from the shores of the Hungry Lake. You can hear its waters lapping nearby. But this is a kind of a narrow passage at the shore and kind of pretty close to the edge of the Drow territory.
Cool. So for my first move, I'm going to just take the Gritsville skull and go, I don't need you. Bruticus, I choose you. And I basically summon a zombie brute in front of the two dogs.
You should do a skeleton because, you know, they're made of bones. And dogs like bones and be more distracting.
So,
Too late.
Basically, more adjacent to the south one.
you have what, a range of 30 feet on that?
I think so, yeah. But whatever the center of it would be, I don't know how technical you want to be with it, but if it's right there, I'm good with that.
I think it can actually be one closer.
Yeah, like one down will do it.
All right, so you spend all three actions summoning this brute that appears quite suddenly, and it can then take its actions. It's going to swing at one of the hounds with its fist.
With a
Upper
26.
class 26 is a resounding hit.
Good job, Bruticus. Beat him up. Beat him up.
And is then going to swing again for its second and final action, and that's going to miss entirely. Okay, let me make sure I've got this somewhere handy. I'll put it up there. All right. So you summon up a gigantic towering brute that begins beating on these hounds. Ilana.
I am very tired, and those hounds do not want to be friends. But, do we need a distraction, or do I just take them all out? I am going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and get within range. and summon a horde of monkeys.
What?
With mad monkey spell. What does it do, Ilana?
This is a spell from the Advanced Player's Guide. And they're very good at causing chaos and distractions. So either they can steal things, or they can cause noise, which cause a fortitude save, or they can do gymnastics on everything and out gymnastics Roark and Shensen to cause
Challenge accepted.
reflex
right.
saves.
Are you trying to do it on the drow all the way back there, or?
I'm gonna summon a horde right between the three of them.
So, because this has a 5-foot burst, it's kind of a plus sign shaped thing, right? You pick a spot and it hits the 5 foot within that area. So they are unfortunately all kind of irritatingly far apart at the start of this. So you can't actually catch two of them in it.
Then I am
Yeah, the only way you can do it is doing it like in between the drow and the
directly
dog.
on top. Ooh, then yes, because I want to take out the drow because she controls the dogs.
All right.
So we are going to go with a fortitude save. They're just going to be loud and screeching and angry.
All right. So they are going to create a raucous din, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Very good. I shall make a fortitude save. Here we go. A 19. What is your save DC, Ilana?
I believe my save DC is 21.
21. That is going to be a failure, which means the drow is going to be deafened for 1 round. Which means it's going to have a flat check to cast any spells and take a penalty on some perception checks. All right. So at this time, there is a raucous din of monkeys.
Oh, shoot. I should have done gymnastics. They would have lost an answer. Oh, well. Next time.
We will go ahead and put a bright blue Ilana 5-foot square. Nope, not square. That's not what I wanted. We'll go ahead and put a area of monkeys. They are right there.
Should have done gymnastics. Oh, well.
All right. Okay. So, that was Ilana's turn. Next up, the hounds. These two hounds begin just tearing into this zombie. It is the thing that is right in front of them. Yeah, they are both going to attempt to bite it. We're going to start with the one that is hurt. Here's the first attack, and this zombie's AC is only 15. All right, here it comes. First hit is a crit. That we can ignore the evil, so it's going to do, let's see, 11. It's going to do 22 on the first hit, just ripping into this zombie, biting and tearing at it with its jaws. Second attack is going to also be a crit for 20 points of damage. And its third attack is a miss. The other hound is going to start tearing into the zombie. It's going to make its first attack with its jaw. Another critical hit. That is going to be 14, 28 points of damage. This one tears into it, ripping it limb from limb. These two things just jump at it, ripping and tearing its flesh. And at the end of a very brief struggle, the two of them have tore it to pieces.
Verticus, no!
The other one's second action is going to be to move up to be adjacent to Ilana.
How much damage did it do to it altogether?
That second hellhound or ferocious acid hound that tore into it did another 28 points of damage.
No, I mean like all together.
Oh, like 70.
I think it has like 75.
Not according to the stat block I was looking at.
No, it's 70. It's 70. You're right on the dot.
Yep.
You're good. My bad. Keep going.
Yeah, no worries. This last one goes charging up to Ilana, and yeah, it's just going to move up to there, and it's going to attempt to bite you.
No, but we could be friends.
Does not appear to want to be friends. Armor class is 17.
Does not hit.
That is going to miss. That is the end of the hounds. Next up, their master goes. Stumbling out of the din. It's going to be the first thing I do. This drow priestess comes out of the din and moves to that location, weaving hands back and forth. She is going to attempt to cast a spell. DC 5 flat check. 15 will make it.
What is she doing?
Oh, nothing. Just a little bit of that. A blast of flame erupts in the middle of the party as she unleashes a fireball.
Hey, that you can't do that. I can do that. You're not allowed to do that.
I just did it.
Well,
Did it not
fine.
roll my damage? That's weird.
I failed my reflex terribly. In fact, I'm gonna have to hero point it, or else it's this is a critical failure. I got a 19, so I still fail, but it's not double damage.
All right, it did not roll damage for me, so let me go ahead and roll that. Here it comes.
And oof, that's 22.
All right, so anyone who got under 26 is going to take 22 points of fire damage. If you got over 26, which looks like just Shensen, you will take half that and only take 11.
I take the full brunt, beard burning, hair on fire.
The flame blast washes over all of you, leaving you all smoking and scorched. And the drow priestess looks at you with a smirk. And you can hear her whisper in Undercommon, pathetic. Roark, it is your turn.
Set me on fire. Roark is gonna march up to this doggy, and then he's going to dance with the doggy in the pale moonlight. We'll do a leading dance. Here's that performance check. Ooh, that's bad. That's not like me at all. I'm gonna re-roll that.
That is a roll of 2 for a total of 15.
Yeah,
You're pretty sure that's
just
not going to do it.
That's not gonna do it at all.
32 is much better.
That's
A
better.
32 is a critical success.
All right, then it means we can move 10 feet. Gosh, I didn't know. I wasn't expecting to move this far. Let's gonna move everyone right in this direction. Let's bunch everyone up nice and good.
Ooh, that'll be useful.
The hound dances with you as you shuffle across the cliffside there, and the hound follows right up alongside you.
It gives me panache, and I'm going to attack the hound with my newfound special rapier.
All right.
That's only a 20, though.
You go slashing out at the hound with your new rapier, and that is a hit. For 10 points of damage?
13, because now I have panache. And if they can take precision damage, that is.
They can. Your blade slices into the hound. It squeals in pain, and where the wound is made, green fire leaks out. But it does take 13 points of damage, and it kind of howls in pain, but it is still up and fighting.
I'm done.
All right, that is the end of Roark's turn. Next up, Shensen.
All right. My arrow is pointing to where I'm going to attempt to redeem my sound burst for doing nothing in the previous fight.
Very good.
So that should get all 3 of them and none of the others, none of the friendlier people.
It will indeed.
All right. Honk. Actually, this sounds more like just like a giant orchestral sting. Actually, it sounds like a whisper because it's only 9 points of damage.
Oh.
You do roll minimum damage. Let me go ahead and make a fortitude save for them. I'm going to start out with this first hound here. We're going to go ahead and have it make its fortitude save. Here it comes. A 12 is
Hooray!
going to be a failure. So it will take the 9 points of damage, and it is deafened for 1 round. The second hound is going to succeed and will take half damage. So that will be 4.
I have an unfortunate question.
Yes.
Is that Drow spellcaster still technically deafened due to the monkeys?
Yes.
Oh no.
Will it get affected by this?
It was only deafened for 1 round, so I'm assuming that actually ended.
Okay. I didn't know how long it lasted, so sorry, I know same team and all that, but I just wanted to.
Oh no, I should have done the gymnastics one and removed one of their actions. So
being deaf also does not make you immune to sonic damage necessarily.
Okay.
Being in an area of silence will, but I need to double check that. But it doesn't matter in this case anyway. So last but not least, the oozing eye priestess is going to go ahead and make a fortitude save. Here it is. Oh, I got a fail.
Hooray!
Yeah, that sucks. Okay. Yeah, we'll take the damage.
All right, third action. Same old prancing around in triumph that it at least did something. And my farm skill is 23. That's probably just a...
That's a success, but that's
All right.
it.
That's still 3 rounds. I'm done.
All right. That is the end of Shensen's turn. Lorne, you are up next.
Fireball. Position in a way that hits all 3 of the enemies and not
Yeah, you can throw it in the back there. That's not too big of a problem.
Terrible damage. Terrible damage.
A blast of flame that appears behind them. I'm going to roll for the priestess first. She is going to take half damage and only take 8. These 2 green glowing hounds will need to make their saves as well. First one, fail. We'll take 17. Second one will also fail. Wow, those are bad dice rolls.
Good.
4 and a 5. Wow. Will fail as well and take 17 as well.
Do I yell back at a guy? Pathetic! Second failed, third rate wizard!
Indeed. You unleash a blast of flame that affects both the hounds and the priestess. They all look scorched, although the priestess looks barely hurt by that. And Lorne, you do still have 1 action left.
I'm actually going to position myself over here.
All right. Ilana.
I'm gonna go, oh no, you don't escape that easily, and sustain the mad monkeys and call them forward a little bit to, oh, that is a measuring, to be right here. So I catch all 3 of them.
All right, so you're able to move it 5 feet, which means you can indeed move it to get all of them.
Can I change it to tumultuous gymnastics? I don't think I can, but I would like to.
Unfortunately, when you cast it, it is set.
Darn, that would have been much more helpful. Either way, I am not quite done.
Currently, I'm trying to grab the... I can't marry you.
Try luring it with some bananas.
Well, right now I'm having trouble grabbing it in roll 20, so that's a problem.
The monkeys cannot be tamed.
Ah, there it is.
We have released them. We can't control them now.
There we go. All right. Okay, so you go ahead and move the mad monkeys there. That was one of your actions, and what are the rest of your actions?
They are very nicely grouped together, and I do believe they're all within the area of a 30-foot cone. So I'm going to hit them all with a crashing wave. Because I'm very tired, and I would like this fight to be done so we can keep going and get to Cobalt Town.
All right, you go ahead and throw a crashing wave at them. This is going to deal, I believe, bludgeoning damage because it's water. The first Hellhound or Acid Hound is going to need to make a, let's see, that's a reflex save. Here we go. 28 will take half damage, which is, let's see, 12,
wait. Oh.
which is unfortunately still enough to remove it. So it is going to vanish. And then the other one is going to make its save as well. And does it even matter? Maybe if I crit succeed. No, I fail. So both of the hounds are wiped off the map by this. They have been hit by spell effect after spell effect after spell effect. And after tearing apart the zombie, slowing them down, they have been blasted out of existence by spell after spell. The priestess will take 12 points of damage from that as the wave washes over her, but she is still up and fighting.
I think she still also has to roll her fortitude save to see if she is deafened and flat-footed again.
Yes. She's going to fail that and continue to be affected.
Sorry, Hellhounds. I know it's not your fault.
I'm not
those
sorry.
are throny dogs. They're just fine. They got what they deserved.
All right, yeah. So in this case, just deafened. All right. Okay. She's like wringing her ears as these monkeys keep swarming around her and these spells have hit her. However, it is now her turn. Let's see here. Yes. Okay. She is going to attempt to cast another spell. Despite being deafened. And that is going to succeed. She waves her hand, tracing arcane sigils in the air, and she points at you, Ilana. You have been raining various spell effects down upon her and her minions, and she unleashes agonizing despair.
Well, we already have that.
Yeah, fair. You will need to make a will saving throw. Ignore the attack roll. This should not have an attack roll associated with it. So go ahead and make me a will saving throw.
All right. Come on, roll 20. So not only will I be tired, I will be tired and sad. Or not at all, because that was a 33 and a natural 20.
Boing!
Curse you!
I really just want to go home.
You just
when did
I would have
Cobalt
gotten
Town
away
become
with it if
home?
it wasn't for you kids and your meddlesome
dice.
mushroom. All right.
Ah! You become a dog. That's not hard.
All right. Well, she is going to, you know what? She's not going to bother stepping out of the monkeys, but she will raise her, ready her spear. All right. Roark, Thunderbird.
All right, lady. Surrender or be stabbed. I'm going to stab her anyway. I'll use the confident finisher. Here we go. With bard bonus up, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 34.
Oh,
Yes.
that is a critical hit.
Okay.
Yay!
So you're gonna take, let's see, 25, 50 points of damage plus 4. 54 points of damage.
This was supposed to be a hard fight, and you guys have just unloaded on it.
That saving throw was tough. I'll tell you that. I took that damage.
54 points of damage. You slash out with the rapier, like it goes right through her torso. She cries out in agony as you pull the blade out, but she is still somehow standing. She has pulled that spear out and is currently leaning against it, rocking back and forth as blood pours out of her wound. You still have one action remaining.
She is flat-footed because I have the weapon specialization in this
Aha.
thing.
Oh, good.
She's flat. And I am just gonna try to finish her with a second attack.
All right.
Oh, that's only a 12.
Yeah,
You
you rolled a
have-
2.
Point.
You have a hero
Hey,
point.
I'm gonna let Nah, you guys can finish her. I'm fine. I don't need the glory.
Oh yeah.
She is rocking right there. The attack fails, but she is very badly hurt from that critical hit. Shensen.
I'm gonna walk forward slowly and implacably, like I'm in a slasher movie and I'm the villain. Because it's Friday the 13th. So I'm gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then I'm slowly but certainly going to raise up my cosplay weapon and slash her with my machete.
Oh, no.
So
Well,
much striking
unfortunately,
shit.
she's flat-footed, until the start of your next turn, Roark?
Yeah.
I believe that's the case. Yep.
So that's a critical hit.
So that's an extra 18. Or I guess just double the 13.
Yeah, 13 times 2 is 26. So, like, in the span of just a handful of seconds, she goes from being cocksure and assured of her success to being utterly wiped out. You have
And since it's Friday the 13th, I'm gonna keep going. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of 13s. Friday the 13th, those are crits if I roll a 13 on Friday the 13th with the machete, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. She attempted to unleash her nightmarish spell repertoire on her, upon you, but barely got to get a word out before the band of bravos just cut her down.
I pat one of the monkeys on the head before I release the spell.
They're like,
Thanks,
And then
guys.
and then they vanish.
Oh, I
Can we
wanted
go-
to play with them. All right, okay.
Can we go to Cobalt Town now?
We should take her magic stuff.
Wait,
What you
Jess!
got on
I
her?
dive into the cliff. Whoosh.
So you're able to kind of check her, and you find a handful of useful and interesting things that we'll catalog here in a bit. Her spear is valuable. Her robes have some value to them. She has a spell book on her. So handful of useful things. Let me.
Is that a chest under a rock that
There is what looks to be like an old chest buried underneath some rubble and rock. It looks like a boat might have crashed here long ago and been like half buried in the beach.
Go get it, Ilana.
Okay.
You'll do
It's
fine.
old-
There's like some
Oh.
stone steps over there.
Where did my mouse
go,
go?
Becky.
Oh no. There's
Okay,
my
well,
mouse.
open it for you.
Treasure.
So
There we go.
it is actually buried underneath a fair amount of rock and debris. Getting it open would require you to kind of excavate the thing.
Oh.
I take it with that athletics check, Roark, you are beginning
Yes.
the process.
I'm beginning the process. I'll start
Ooh, me too. I'll help.
digging it up.
Not greatly,
Oh.
but I will help. Put that rock over there, Rourke. Now lift that one up. Now put that rock you lifted up over there.
I'll just start juggling them then, shall I?
All right.
I'm gonna see if Thievery can help me sneak and pull things apart and take things apart.
Okay. Well,
Take the bit
it
apart.
takes you a little bit of time, but you're able to kind of unbury this chest that looks like it was part of like a locker chest on a boat, and you're able to kind of dig it out, and you open it up, and inside is like a number of bolts of what look to be like drow-made silk. They look like they're in relatively decent shape. They got a little water damage sitting here on the beach, but there's not exactly like tides here. So it's not like this area gets washed over by the water really all that often.
We saw a giant half drow, half spider. I'm just going to assume that that's what the silk is made out from.
You never know.
Drow butt.
So there is that, and then down in the very bottom is a small sealed case. It's about 6 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches.
Can I open it, or is it locked?
No, it just has a simple latch.
That sounds too easy.
Yeah, check it for simple latch traps.
Would that just be another thievery?
Jason's expression right now makes me think that this is trapped.
Yeah.
20. That'd be thievery to check for traps, right? 24.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah, there's a trap. This is not my day. I thought this day was supposed to be my day.
I'm going.
You gotta
to
work
put
on
the
that poker
box
face.
on the ground and like poke it and push it away with my staff a little bit.
I gotta work on it. I'm just too excited.
I think you're being
for
countered
today's
because we have a Jason on our team too, Jason.
Oh, I see. Oh, now I see how this works. So I need to kill Roark. That's what you're telling
Jason
me.
versus Jason.
Oh.
Yeah,
Friday the
I've seen
13th,
that
part
movie.
13.
Yeah.
All right. Is it another thievery to unlock the trap? Or
Do you have are you trained in thievery?
I am. I was able to take another skill.
And do you
When the last
have
level up.
thieves? Do you have thieves tools?
I do not.
I
gonna
have
make it-
thieves' tools, though.
Can I borrow them,
I'll
Roark?
loan them to Ilana, yes.
Oh, 18.
That's the flavor of
You have
teamwork.
2 points left if you want to use one.
Is 18 enough before I use a hero point?
Do you think it's enough?
I don't think it's enough.
Another 24.
I think a 24 is the exact number you need.
Actually, 24 is enough. An 18 wouldn't have been. So yeah, you managed to disarm it. It's a relatively simple needle trap that was embedded in the hinge, and you managed to disarm it before you open up the small chest. Inside this small, not even chest, case, are 6. These definitely aren't poison. These are more like alchemical vials that look identical. So there's 6 of them in here. You don't know what they are, but there are 6 identical alchemical vials.
Lauren, Roark, I think one of these might be for you. And I just
you know what it is?
Because I look like a nerd. You think I just see what random vials are?
If it's absinthe, I get dibs. For reasons.
Do you not want it? I can put it back.
I'm staying up here still. Good luck with that.
But what is it? Is what I'm asking.
Oh no, it's why I held it out to you.
I don't know.
If it's an alchemical vial, you need an arcana check,
Yeah.
right? I don't have that.
No, it's alchemical. That's it's not an arcana kind
No,
of deal.
the alchemical stuff you identify with a craft check, actually.
Oh, the craft. Oh, I have crafting.
Yeah, arcana's like magic and stuff.
Nope, I'm done.
That's a
13 is
lucky
not-
13, though. That's like a success. We've
All right,
established
so is
that.
it a crit, Jason?
No.
Yeah.
You're all
You need to
bad
be
at this.
trained. Do you need to be trained to try to figure that stuff out?
Yes.
I will step away.
Does anybody else have crafting?
Not
You
unless
think
we get
I
to
make
level up.
stuff with these nerd hands?
Just you, I
You
think.
you do not, but you can take them with you and try and identify what they are later.
I'm going to put them in the fancy new bag we have and come back to that later.
You
All right. Okay, so you gather those up and put them in your bag, and you've gathered up the handful of things from the drow priestess who was trying to stop you from escaping, and there is now nothing in your way.
Hooray. Onward.
All right. So you kind of leave this area behind and continue, on your journey back toward Cobalt Town. So you're. Oh, I see that you have. All right, who drew Hangry Lake?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, jerks. All right.
Is it the shark?
The shark's hangry.
So that fight occurred right around there.
you need to
on
switch
the-
this
on
to the
the-
thing.
on the banks of the Drow.
Our ribbon is still on the.
Oh,
at the
sorry.
map.
Yep, I'm done. Here you go.
Oh,
So,
it's just us hungry. Like you're on the wrong map.
Yeah. The that fight occurred right around here, right at the kind of the edge of the Drow territory, or at least close to home for them. So from there, you're able to kind of make your way back toward Kobold Town. So the journey, by the time you kind of get past the maze area and you're kind of in this area out here, you're still probably a few hours away from Kobold Town, but you are all getting rather exhausted. You've been, you kind of started the day by climbing down a cave, then crafting a boat, then swimming, paddling to shore, then hustling, fighting a drow. Your day's kind of done.
Oh boy,
A
everybody!
long,
I
full
feel
day.
absolutely exhausted.
I'm knackered.
We should sleep. I merely fall over and sleep. Just
just in the middle
In
of
the
the
middle of this.
and it's like,
once
I'm
again.
going to bed.
I give the one who didn't do any of the work today the stink eye. Just a little bit. Just
I
a little bit.
fireballed someone today. That's
Again, we
hard
gotta
work.
carry Lauren to a bed.
Just drags
He
his
did carry a
rut in the
fireball.
road.
He's really tuckered out.
If an embarrassing sigil shows up on Lauren's forehead, it's not my fault.
Grisfell finds it funny.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, as Lauren passes out, Grisfell kind of pops out of the skull and like grabs his cloak and kind of tucks him into his cloak, and he's like, there, champ. You did great today.
Even
I'm
though I'm
weirded out by that
tired.
because Grisfell doesn't have hands.
No,
How
he really
what is
doesn't. He can't actually do that, but he's trying to.
Even though I'm very tired, I'm still going to take care of my band of bravos, so I'll take first watch. I
Give
kinda
me a
sit-
survival check to find a comfortable place to rest.
23.
That's pretty good. You find a small niche off the main path so that you're kind of out of sight and
Is it more
relatively
moss?
well protected and dry. So you're able to kind of get everybody up in there and camp out for the night. You're all just settling down as you're kind of setting up camp, breaking up bedrolls and whatnot, maybe having a bite to eat from your packs. When quite suddenly there is another rumble.
Mm-mm.
Quite for about 20 seconds or so, 20 to 30 seconds, the ground just shivers and shakes. Some rocks and pebbles fall from the ceiling, some dust, and everything's just kind of disturbed for a moment. You're all kind of rocked back and forth by the ground itself, kind of moving and shaking.
I tell the cave to shut up. I'm sleeping.
Can
Yeah,
I tell
all right,
if
well-
it's a natural earthquake? Or
I mean, you could give me a nature check, but
maybe some detect magic. I'm just, part of me is worried that this is our fault when we buried the thing in the ground.
Oh,
So-
it is.
you're looking at it and it's kind of impossible to tell. I mean, the only piece of evidence you have is that the earth shook.
Okay. So
That
it's
could
just
that could be literally
anything.
dozens of things.
So we're just kind of in an all around uncomfortable position. Is this our fault? Is this normal? What did this? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to carry this guilt, I'm not going to stop you.
Okay. How late in the day is it? Do I need to roll anything else for the rest of my watch or?
No, the rest of the watch goes uneventfully. As a matter of fact, all the rest of the watches go uneventfully. You're able to get everybody healed up, get your spells back, and continue your journey. This next day sees you making your way kind of through these caves, and eventually you come out over here near the bug pits. And there, off in the distance, you can see Kobold Town.
Hooray.
It shouldn't feel like coming home, but we've been here a while.
It's still standing up, so that's a good sign too.
That is a good sign.
Indeed.
But how soon until we're going to want to leave it again? I give it like a day and a half.
Not long. With all these quakes and whatnot, bravos, I think it's time we got back to the surface where nothing could ever fall on your head.
But the deeper down in the caves we are, the less we fall if there's like the ground opens up under us.
Well, I mean, those are all very sound points.
Well, now I'm afraid of a different thing. Thanks,
Hey, I helped.
So you're making your way past the bug pits. You notice that there are very few kobolds out here today. You see Grollo minding his business and tending to his bug flock.
I wave at Mr. Grollo as we pass.
Hi, Grollo.
He sees you and he's like, "Oh, hello, friends." He waves to you from the bug pits.
Where'd everybody else go, Grollo?
Trying to corral about half a dozen beetles into a cage.
Oh, he's busy. I'll leave him alone.
Yeah, he's working.
Bother him at work.
Dog is telling me to release the beetles.
So, all right. Well, you leave him behind and continue making your way toward the city proper. The journey doesn't take you very long. It's about an hour's walk from the kind of edge to the town itself. And there is a gate on the far side. You don't have to walk all the way over to the front here. There is a gate leading out towards the mushroom fields and the bug pit. And you make your way up to that gate, and there are a handful of kobolds. And as you make your way up to it, the ground shakes again.
It's not our fault. We didn't do it.
This one lasts about 45 seconds or so. And has a bit more intensity to it. Can I get everybody to make me a reflex save?
Ew,
Let's
16.
Long
23.
got a 28.
I got a natural 1.
Oh, that's poor.
You were
not
distracted by waving back at Grollo.
So Shensen and Roark are both knocked off their feet somehow.
That's
the two,
embarrassing.
the two
It is.
graceful dex-based characters are both knocked off their feet.
I immediately start shrieking about the ground. It's going to open up. It's going to get us.
Oh, and I throw myself on the ground then. I don't. Yeah.
No, don't throw yourself on the ground. That puts you closer to it.
But the falling.
In fact, Roark, you kind of twist your ankle a bit during all of this and are slowed for a little bit. It's not going to matter, but you are slowed up and hobbled a bit by the being tossed to the ground and kind of wound one of your feet. Nobody takes any damage, but you are all embarrassed. Some of the kobolds around the gate are knocked to the ground as well, and they kind of get themselves back up and they're looking around. And some of them, they keep looking back up over at the walls into the city, up to the big spire.
I'm just imagining one of those big towers at the top of the spire tipping over and just rolling down into the town below like a giant oversized rolling pin, just flattening this out on a giant kobold pancake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could happen. The kobolds look at you as you approach and they're like, mack, 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 mack.
Mac.
Mac.
I was like, nothing? You just stand there? Okay.
I'm trying to let them talk to him this time. I mean, I'm always talking to them. They could try for once.
I don't speak mech. I speak undercommon.
Oh, we'll try.
Same.
Here, I'll show
Hi.
you. I'll show you,
going to
Shensen. All right, you say Mac.
I'm not going to say what you say. You're going to embarrass me. I know how you
No,
work.
it's good. It's going to be okay. So Mac.
I just walk into the city.
I speak in undercommon. Can we pass through, please?
The kobolds look at you and they say, yes, but be careful. There's been a lot of shaking and quakes lately, and a few buildings have collapsed.
A lot.
Uh-oh.
Like, how many is a lot and lately?
Not a lot, but like 2 or 3.
Okay. I got very concerned there were more.
No. It's just a few. It's some of the older structures.
Is that why you
this
were
is-
looking up at the tower? At the spire?
Well, it is the oldest building in town, but it seems to be holding up.
It's solid. It's up higher from the ground, so it's less susceptible to the shaking.
Mac,
That's
Mac, Mac.
not
They all look at
how-
you with like Mac, Mac, Mac. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not how that. All right, and I walk in.
That's how this works.
That's
The
not
further
how
you
that
are
works.
away from the ground, the safer you are.
Next time you hear the ground shaking, jump up just at the right time, and it won't hurt you.
That's like you're in an elevator that's falling, but if you jump right at the bottom, you'll be safe somehow.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Because momentum isn't a thing.
Nope.
All right. Well, you make your way through the gates and into Cobalt Town proper. The people of Cobalt Town, it's your standard motley mix of kobolds and Durgar and deep gnomes and orcs, all kind of, living their lives. It's mostly kobolds. But everyone seems on edge. There are lots of people kind of constantly glancing skyward toward the giant, hillock and keep that kind of overlooks the entire town, because obviously they're understandably concerned that if that collapses, it could destroy half the city. But everybody, is kind of trying to go about their business. As you arrive, there's like merchants and whatnot on the street trying to set back up their wares, right their carts and pick up all the things that have just been knocked to the floor.
Do we want to head straight to Gargetha? Do we want to go find Snelk?
Should probably go talk to the orcs first.
All right. Or at least let them know that we're back so we can have an audience with
Yeah,
them. It usually
yeah.
takes a day or two.
All right.
Make our way up towards the Orc emissary.
Okay. Well, this requires you to kind of make your way up the hillside here, kind of snaking back and forth up the side of this mountain. And you arrive up at top, which is where all the kind of embassies are of the various peoples of the Eternal Vault. And not surprisingly, it's not very busy up here right now. There's lots of folk who have decided that they don't want to be up here while the ground is shaking. So the only folks that you see other than the people manning the embassies are kobolds, and there are a lot of them around the temple. Many of them are wearing kind of like religious garb. You saw this on some of the priests when you first visited. There's lots of folks in that, and there are a lot of people all around the temple who are kind of kneeling and praying, and they look like they're offering up, incense and bits of food. And there's kind of a growing shrine on the outside of the church where all of the folk who can't get inside are kind of offering up, sacrifices or just giving offerings to the mother in hopes of, appeasing her. You're not sure what's going on.
All right, let's carefully pick our way amongst the crowd and make our way over to the Orc emissary.
As you're doing this, there is a group of kobolds making their way down the street, and they are bearing. They have long poles, and on the end of these poles are these braziers smoking with incense, and they are chanting in Undercommon that the Earthen Lord returns, and soon the Mother must return as well to do battle. And they are chanting, "These are the end times. The end of Cobalt Town is near." And as they do this, they are drawing near you and kind of swinging the incense over you, and they start screaming, "Your kind, you sky breathers, will not be welcome here. The Mother shall drive you out as she did in the days of old."
I sneeze.
I want to try out the incense. What does it smell like? Huff, 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 huff.
It smells like kind of burnt fish scales and lizard.
Oh, never mind. Yuck. It's not what I thought it was. Pass.
Large, unsightly sneeze directly in the face of the closest one who has the incense under my nose and in my face.
That's the most horrifying thing anyone has ever said these days.
So they are currently kind of blocking your path and starting to surround you, and you notice that other kobolds that are not quite as fanatical as these are gathering around and starting to point at you and say, "The outsiders will be cast out."
Is it just me, or does this need a distraction?
This needs a
Fireball?
no, I should not. No, I was going to say
Fireball?
blistering effective. I think that I'm going to step up to them and in Undercommon try to undermine their convictions by telling them that it's not us that bring you this peril, the shaking. We are here to save you from the shaking. Point us in the right direction, and we will salvage Kobold Town from its glorious past into an even more glorious future.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Yay. There it is.
Ooh.
That is a hero point being utilized.
This is a natural one.
There, 24. That's better.
So you're shouting at them, and the leader of these kobolds screams back, "You cannot save us. You sky breathers are not welcome here. Our mother shall return soon, and she shall drive you out, as she did in the days of old when Kobold Town was young. Your kind will not be welcome here again. This will be a paradise for kobolds and those who worship the mother." This is by the way, very unlike the kind of preachings you heard from Gargetha, or not Gargetha, the high priestess of the kobolds.
Is this like the one kobold who tried to break it and kill the high priestess, or am I remembering that wrong?
We killed that one.
There was the usurper. We killed him, but there's others.
Yeah, so is this similar to the original usurper?
I have a conspiracy theory that Snooten, too, after their tavern business went down, decided to join this religion area thing, and they became high priestesses, and then damned sky breathers because they destroyed their business.
So when you first arrived here in town, you had to get in through the arena, and if you recall, you were brought in by a kind of the keeper of the matches was a kobold named Caxo, and he brought you to meet Golgama, the high priestess of the kobolds. She was in the middle of her ceremony when another kobold attacked. That kobold was named Ashvanir, and Ashvanir was, according to Golgama, part of some radical sect. This sounds a lot like what he was shouting when he leapt up from the audience to attack her.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
I agree with Lauren, though. I think it's Snarl and Toot.
It's Snarl.
We put them down once before. We can do a rerun easy enough.
Well, you're kind of shouting at them, but they're still not getting out of your way. So I don't know what you're doing.
I'm summoning monkeys.
Monkeys? Okay. So you are casting this spell to summon a swarm of monkeys. I'm assuming you're going for the din again?
No, I'm gonna go with like burglary. Oh, then again, the din would drown them out. What do you think? Really fast.
Den.
Team huddle.
Monkey den.
Monkey den. Screaming
monkey
monkeys.
den once again.
Is that what you're going with?
Sounds like we're drowning
screaming
him
monkeys?
out. Sounds like we're drowning them out. Screaming monkeys it is.
All right. Okay, so you summon a bunch of screaming
I'm
monkeys.
just be like, I think my friends disagree with you guys and monkeys.
Have they ever seen these
gonna
before?
go ahead and
Are they not like freaking out that of a creature they've never even knew existed?
Monkeys are universal.
You can probably
What are these wingless
really
bats with tail?
you can convince them that they're poisonous, and they get
Oh, no.
summoned by
Cave
the mother.
monkeys.
No, they're spelunky monkeys.
Oh, come on now.
You do a whole bunch of stuff.
All right. You summon up a swarm of monkeys that begin screaming and shouting at anyone who gets near you. The kobolds understandably kind of panic at this. They don't know what these things are. They don't know where they came from. And the kobolds start screaming, the Skybringers! They bring nightmarish demons from the sky-breathing world down to our realm. And even though they're backing off and clearing the way, They are still screaming that you have brought curses and terrible retribution to their town. And you can hear them scream, "It is they who have come down here and upset the balance. It is they who have woken the earthen lord and brought ruin to our town. Clearly, they are the newcomers and they are to be to blame."
But do they get out of our way?
Scatter.
Fantastic.
They scatter at the monkeys. The monkeys scare them.
That was roughly the goal.
I shout at them as they leave and come, and even though I didn't understand a word of that, and, you might not be wrong. We don't know yet. I'm just figuring it out.
Sorry.
Our
You were in the
bad.
way.
All right.
Thank you, friends. And I continue towards the orc emissary.
All right. Well, you leave these kobolds behind and continue making your way closer. Who put Shensen Town in there?
I know
It's a
what you're talking
rebranding
about.
What are you
effort.
doing? Stop putting Shensen Town in there. So you leave the kobolds behind and make your way up to the orc enclave. The orcs at the door there are busy kind of keeping away another group of zealots that are chanting at them from outside. And the kobolds there are kind of doing the same racket to them, that they will be driven from this cave, this sacred place of koboldness.
Are the monkeys still with me?
What was that? Oh, the
the
monkeys are
monkeys-
still with you?
Are they with me still?
Well, they're what, concentration for how long? Up to a minute?
I think so. Where did I closed the book.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Mad
minute.
monkeys are, up to a minute. Yeah, you can still kind of have them, but they won't be lasting very much longer.
That's fine, as long as I can take care of that slight problem at the door.
All right, you bring the monkeys up closer to the door, and as they do so, the kobolds here kind of panic and flee from the mad monkeys who are screaming at them, leaving you a clear path to the orcs. One of whom, a rather large, burly fellow, who was holding his kind of large stone axe at them, but had the blade side facing himself, just using it as a barrier to keep the kobolds away. As they are driven away, he kind of stops, slings the axe over his shoulder, and just lets out a kind of long sigh of relief as he looks at you and he says, "You have my gratitude for driving off this rabble. What can we do for you here at the Orc Emissary?"
They were a little loud and unruly. You wouldn't happen to... Gargatha wouldn't happen to be in, would she?
You would be surprised they have been like this for days. First it started out with just a few, and now there are hordes of them here shouting at us to leave. As if
Sounds
we
like
did
they
not
have-
have enough troubles.
Sounds like they have some sort of rabble rouser that we got to track down and confront.
Perhaps. The ambassador lies within. I'm assuming you would like an audience.
Yes, please.
If you wouldn't mind.
I shall see if Mistress Clearsight is available to meet with you. Please wait here. The orc guard goes inside of his compound, and you're left kind of standing out here. During this time, the ground gives another shake, this one lasting about a full minute. The thing that is disturbing is that these seem to be coming faster. The time distance between the previous one and this one is been about an hour.
It's like when thunderstorms get closer.
Whereas the one before that, I mean, admittedly you were further away, so you're not sure if it was just as recent, but it was several hours earlier. So they seem to be happening more frequently.
Jason, do they sound like footsteps, maybe?
Oh.
Like really big footsteps?
I mean, that's a possibility. You're not entirely sure.
Oh, I'm sure now.
They kind of go on for a long period of time. So, I mean, it doesn't quite track. It'd be one hell of a footstep.
I bet it's those rock people coming for revenge against you attacking one of them, Roark. I told you shouldn't have stabbed him.
What, did I stab one? I've forgotten.
I mean,
We were trying to push him away. Yeah. well,
we were trying to save him. The kobold started it.
Yeah.
So, after a moment goes by and you're just kind of watching this, the ground shakes a bit, and when it does so, the kobolds that are here, the ones that are kind of fanatically worshiping at this temple, they all fall in adulation, and their prophets start screaming about how the end times are nearly here, and that soon the mother will finally return, her final egg will hatch, and a new era of prosperity for the kobolds will be ushered in. The earthen lords will be driven from this place, as with all of the other unclean sky breathers and squatters in this sacred vault.
Well, now that's just rude.
Yeah.
It's kind of messed up when you think about it.
The kobolds that are listening to all of this are all like shouting and praising and waving their hands in the air and throwing more offerings up towards the makeshift altar outside the cathedral here. And as this is happening, the orc finally returns to you and he says, "The mistress is available. She will see you now."
Yay.
And with that, you are escorted from outside the orc embassy into the inner courtyard, and there you're taken once again back to the emissary's dwelling, which kind of is in the center of the place. And you're taken inside, and she is there with her. You can see that she is in the middle, and she of the kind of main sitting area that you were in that the first time you visited, and she is currently talking to her children in orc, and it's clear that they are packing, like throwing things in chests and you see like the youngest boy come out of one of the rooms with a tall pile of like folded clothing.
Oh, so not like carrying guns.
No, they're not packing.
All right.
Gun.
That makes me
crossbows and all sorts of things.
Hello. We come with good news, but maybe not enough given the undulations of the world around us.
Gargetha looks to you with worry and sleep laden eyes, as if she has not gotten much rest in the past few days. And she looks at you and she says, "Ah, my friends, I am glad to see that you have returned safely. I take it that your journey to the Drow was a success?"
It was informative.
They had some sort of weird gibbering mouther thing. It was supersized. It was inside a crater in a cavern, and it was eating the cloakers, and the drow were feeding it and keeping the cloakers on their side, and we killed it, and hopefully that didn't unplug something that was holding this whole cave together, because it wasn't our fault, but we did kill that thing, and now the cloakers are not going to be bothering you, and you can go fishing, and it's all good for now.
At least we hope.
She looks at you with kind of a confused expression on her face. The drow were keeping a creature fed? Yes. Is that what happened?
That's the best way we can describe it. It was awful. It was horrifying. It was this giant gibbering flesh creature, and they were sacrificing or dumping kobolds into this flesh pit, and we think bringing it to the flesh creature.
With that, she kind of gives a snarl and spits into the fire pit. Vile, treacherous drow. We always suspected that they had some sort of deal with the cloakers, but now I find it is even worse. I shall bring this to the council of elders, and I shall bring it up with our kobold allies, assuming they will listen to reason. Did you see the mad frenzy going on out there?
Yeah. I might have added to it, but at least it cleared the pathway for at least a little while.
They have been growing in fervor over the past several days. I do not know what to make of it. They seem to be convinced that this period of instability is some sort of sign that their deity is about to return, but I can make neither sense nor sanity from it. It It is a madness that has overtaken some of them. There are many others. We have been in contact with the high priestess, and she is urging patience in all of this. She does not believe in their fervor and that this is merely a natural phenomenon.
Well, it could be a natural phenomenon. The Earth gets the shakes from it on occasions, though it does seem much more horrifying being from down here versus feeling them up top.
With that, Clearsight gives kind of a snorting laugh. Yes, down below when the Earth is above you, the shakes, they can seem like the end. I will dispatch a message to my people as soon as I can of your deeds, of your efforts, and I shall implore the council to agree to meet with you as soon as they possibly can. To be honest, for me and my people here, we are preparing to pack up should we need to leave this place. This fervor is not dying down, and I would hate to be here should we be asked to leave.
If that does come to that point, we can probably go with you. Travel with you, to be honest with you. We don't think any of this is going to settle down either if this continues on, which we suspect it will. So if we just left with you and meet you at their gates, because this is our objective, and we would like to, kill two birds with one stone. Well, two bats with one rock.
Feed
Perhaps
two birds,
that could
one
be the
scone.
case. We might be able to travel to my people together. We are still in the process of packing, and I'm not sure if I am ready to abandon this place. We may not be welcomed back. It is a challenge. And as she says that, there is another earthquake. This one lasts for a good 2 minutes, and the shaking becomes very violent. Everybody in here is kind of almost knocked to their feet, or you can quickly take a seat to avoid that fate.
I'm gonna dive under a table.
Yeah, the shaking becomes very violent. There is by the end of it, there is a crack in the wall that is formed. Not so much that there is daylight or the building is compromised, but it is clearly now taken damage.
I'm gonna do what Shensen suggested and jump in the air. Did that work?
You go hopping, and it does not help you at all.
It's
not working.
Get under a table.
I take a strong short stance, and it's knowledge nature to see if can I tell anything at all. Is this natural? Is this magical?
So you are now convinced this is there is a chance it is natural, but your faith in that being true is failing you rather quickly. Natural earthquakes, there tends to be a couple foreshocks and then the big thing hits. This has been very long coming and almost regular, and now it's starting to speed up too linearly.
Reset the clock.
It is going too quickly, and it's coming now. You're like, in the back of your head, you're like, it's possible this is just an earthquake that is about to be released and is building very quickly. That is possible.
Very, very large.
But if it is, you're in very big trouble.
I'm now concerned it's not footprints, but like heartbeats.
May I make a suggestion or try to convince them to leave?
So while this happens, Gargetha has pulled her children around her and is huddled in one corner of the room, kind of underneath a door, and is huddled in this door frame until the shaking finally stops.
I know you love it down here, but if this is getting as bad as it feels like it's getting, it's just going to get worse before it gets better. It might be safer to go up top, at least for a little bit, or go back to the Orcish Enclave.
So I would also say this, Ilana. One thing became apparent to you. Your role was very good, and the thing you kind of noticed is the earthquake hit different people in the room differently.
Oh. Interesting.
Like you were kind of pushed in one direction and thrown in one direction, where Gargetha and her children on the opposite side of the room were kind of thrown in a slightly different direction. And that's really weird.
That's not normal universal shaking. That's definitely something is causing it.
Yeah.
Oh, right, this is not good. And it would my detect magic be able to tell if it's necromancy magic or if it's a different kind of magic?
Well, you do have I believe your detect magic is now powerful enough to give you some sense.
Ooh, please. Because then we'll know which way to go.
If I recall correctly, I'm going to take a peek here because you have it as now a third level.
Third level.
So you learn the School of Magic for the highest level effect within range that the spell detects. Very good. Are you going to cast detect magic?
I did.
All right. You detect incredibly powerful necromancy.
I look at the staff.
Which doesn't make sense because earthquakes wouldn't be necromantic.
I messed up.
It's I look at Lorne and I look at the staff, but I also try not to look like I know exactly what's going on.
So I look at you, and I look at you, and then look at my feet. I look at Shensen, then I look at Roark, and then look back at you, and then look back, then I look back at the skull, and I go, crap.
We need to get topside very quickly.
The skull on the end of the staff is like kind of rocking back and forth. Grisfeld tends not to appear when other people are near, but it's the earthquake has ended, but the skull is still kind of rocking.
Bones are shaking.
Yeah.
Miss Gargetha, I think I know what's caused this, but we need to get topside very, very quickly to see if we can figure it out for sure. Trying to be as vague as possible.
She looks at you and she says, well, do what you must. I will inform the elders that you have helped us, and they will be ready to treat with you should you return.
Stay safe.
We would like to ask a favor, if I can. Could you please provide us a guide to get up to the surface as quick as possible? You have access to the mines, correct? Something that should be a pathway to get up there as quick as we can.
She says, I cannot send a guide with you. My household staff must come with me, but I can give you this. And she takes off her signet ring. The orcs in the mines will respect this. They will recognize you as my emissary, and they will allow you to pass unmolested.
Excellent. They'll deal with this.
She looks at you all and says, I expect this to be returned.
Absolutely.
I look at Lorne and I look at Shensen.
Yeah, and I hand it to Roark. Here you all.
Hey.
She says,
I'll hold it.
You best go. I don't know how much longer we are going to remain here.
Thank you for your time. Good luck. Stay safe. We'll do our best to get this ring back to you. And I look at the group and I'm like, let's go. Let's go. Time to go.
Yep.
We gotta go.
Yep.
We done messed up.
We exit the room.
Exit pursued by bear. Let's go.
You make your way out of Gargetha Clearsight's home, and you find yourself back out in the Orc Enclave. Rushing from the emissary's home, you make your way up to the front gate of the Enclave where the orcs let you pass. And you soon find yourself in the kind of broad plaza that is directly in front of this temple. And there you can still see dozens of kobolds all around the shrine, all around the walls of the temple. So the temple complex is this entire kind of structure up here. So there's a plaza out in front of it, and around that is where all the embassies are located. And it is in that plaza that all of these kobolds have gathered. And you find yourself there as these kobolds are looking up in adulation, and their kind of heretical kobold priests are chanting and screaming. And as you walk into the plaza, another earthquake rips into this place, and it immediately begins to throw all of you to the ground, but in different directions, because the earthquake is emanating from the temple itself. And as you pick yourself up, getting yourself off the ground, and the earth continues to shake and shimmy, the top of the temple explodes. Stone and rock fall from the sky, blasted across the city. And as it does so, the first thing you see is a giant stony claw that you quickly come to realize is not stone at all, but bone. And as it crawls up out of the wreckage, you can see bony wings, and with them, between them, a long bony neck, and from it, a large head of a skeletal dragon that rises up out of the ruins and roars in fury. And that is where I'm ending today's session. I want to thank you all for watching the Band of Bravos. Before we get going here today, I want to toss it around the table and let everybody tell you where they can find them, where they can find themselves. I'm flustered. I'm still flustered after that. I'm going to toss it around the table and let everybody tell you where you can find them on the internet.
Go on.
There we go. James. Over to
James Jacobs. I played Shensen the Bard, and I'm all ready to level up because it's been a while, and that's a dragon. You can find me at Paizo.com over on the message boards and forums there.
Oh, I was very, very wrong in what I thought was going on, and this is a much different problem. Well, we're SOL. Hey guys, I'm Maryssa Marie. I'm Paizo's web content manager. You can find me on the message boards and on all the social media at Maryssa Marie, MarySsamari.
Hi, folks. I'm Jason Keeley, Starfinder developer. You can find me on Twitter at HERZWESTEN and hiding under a table.
As the rocks fall and everything else, Lauren looks up and like, it's a girl! And I am Peyton Smith. I am the social media producer here at Paizo. You can find me everything that says Zoran the Bear. Just Google it up and you'll find all how weird I am.
Fantastic.
And thank you so much, everyone, for playing. And thank you, Jason, for another amazing session today.
Thank you very much, everybody. I am Jason Bulmahn. I'm the director of game design at Paizo. You can find me in all the various social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube at /Jason Bulmahn. That's JASON BULMAHN. If you want some more Pathfinder fun, we're doing more Maul tomorrow. It's the end of the quarterfinal rounds. We'll be doing that at 4 over on my Twitch channel. I hope you tune in. Thank you for watching, everybody. We will be back next Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time for another thrilling episode of the Band of Bravos. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next time.
So long, farewell.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye forever.
Oh.